Space, the final frontier. These are the voyages of the starship Confidence. Its one-year mission, to train the next generation of Starfleet, to seek out new life and new civilizations, to help all go where no one has gone before. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Nat 13's Star Trek Ascendance.
Nat 13 Star Trek Ascendance!
Oh, I am your Game Master, August Schmidt, and with me, as always, are the wonderful last of the crew of the Ascendant. Say hello, everybody!
The Ascendants or the Confidence?
USS Confidence. This is Star Trek: Ascendance.
Oh, we're the series Ascendants.
So, yes.
I love that name.
Right? It's a fun name. Welcome, of course. I'm your Game Master, August Schmidt. For those that have watched parts 1 and 2 of our kind of 3-part opener, you know who I am. I'm not going to introduce myself. But, of course, we have to kind of meet the crew now. Go ahead, gang. What we'll do is we'll save, like, our character introductions once we get in session. But if you want to, like, say hello, like, maybe, like, who you are, what you do, like, your favorite stuff.
I'm Batman.
All right. Excellent. We have Batman.
I'll start over here. I'm Lincoln Oliphant. He, him. I don't do a lot.
Nice. Hi, I'm Elle Schmidt. They, she. And we're just doing, like, actual who we are introductions.
Yes.
I don't know who I am. You?
Cool.
I'm Izzy Wolf. She, they. I act.
She's gonna be your celebrity crush one day.
It's gonna be great.
Someday.
Hop on the train now.
One day.
You want to be there
Andrew
before she got
Garfield.
big. Let's
Andrew
go.
Listen.
Andrew
Go.
Garfield and Izzy Wolf. They're gonna be a thing.
Oh, we have someone in the chat.
Doesn't matter how much older he is.
Gargar 97.
Gar-
I'm so sorry.
You know
I'm
he's too
fine.
I
sophisticated.
pass out.
Me. I'm Shane. Did we all say our last names?
Yeah.
Shane Murphy.
Yeah, we're doxing ourselves.
It's
What's your
been
address?
wildly
Docs,
odd.
docs,
Like,
docs.
a couple groups have given pronoun, like, I am August Schmidt, Game Master, he, him. Like, we've had, like, some last names, some not, some random. Like, Nathan full-on plugged himself, like, I'm Nathan Lane, I'm single. And we're all like, or Nathan Combs, and like, we're all like, oh,
I'm
like,
also alone.
alone. We are alone. Aren't
I'll
we
do
all
better
in
for
the
Shane.
galaxy?
Shane is a 10 out of 10 and is single, everyone.
As we begin
I am single.
our session,
No, except the coffee.
we find ourselves
He's full now.
a wide galaxy. Stars and nebulae crash and burn.
That galaxy is thick though.
We slowly find our way down through into a small blue marble that we all affectionately call home, Earth. Finding our way to Earth, we slowly move our way down through cloud and storm and atmosphere across a beautiful landscape into a maybe a little foggy but still pretty sunny day, rising out of the midst. Large pillars looming ever forward as the camera zooms in closer and closer until this giant thing almost on top of you, blinking, the Golden Gate Bridge. As we find ourselves in the wonderful Bay Area of San Francisco, home to men, women, and persons of all species, truly, of course, being here in the 24th century. It is Stardate 73925, or what we would know as January 8th. As we find our way through the clouds and mist, we do see eventually the Starfleet Academy. Across the water, the simple little courtyards, buildings, students are moving to and fro in their uniforms, some with briefcases, some with data pads, some with even Android implants, kind of like scrolling through maybe some study note sessions. And as we move forward, we come upon a rather large hall where the students here might call it the Picard, but of course its true name is the Jean-Luc Picard Hall for Excellency in Students. This great grand hall moving inwards, ballroom is open, dividers of course gone, and we see rows on rows of cadets. All the cadets, of course, are wearing what looks to be like very simple maroon uniform, like just kind of like that cadet. Of course, they are slightly varied in terms of if they're more battle-focused, more stealth-focused. As we see this, a lone figure at the end of the hall, standing on a bit of a raised platform with a podium in front of them, graying hair, grizzled face with a smile curved into the lips, we see a man by the name of Admiral Rick Shaw. Admiral Shaw talking to you, one of the head admirals here. We know, of course, Admiral, as he has those classic 4 pips with the band around on his collar. Admiral Shaw, cadets, you've all done a really fine job, to be honest, going through the academy. Couldn't be more proud of our graduating class, but of course, you haven't graduated yet. You're going to be taking your final examinations today. Please be advised, of course, that through the examinations, it's not impossible to fail them. For those of you that think you're cocky having made it this far. But of course, please do not stress, as we have full confidence you already. As he talks, you see like little like lieutenants and just other person, you know, differing like humans, aliens, just everyone walking out, these lieutenants with data pads as Admiral Shaw. You're going to be divided into different groups to be taking your final examinations together. This will be a cumulative test with multiple factors and portions. We'll be testing everything from your athletic abilities to your constitution and to, of course, even the final simulation at the end where you will be in front of your own bridge. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have more cadets to keep talking through today. So, ad astra per aspera. Kind of does the salute. You see emblazoned behind him, of course, ad astra per aspera, to the stars through hardship, this motto, as immediately breaking, once the salute, cadets immediately break, friends are talking to friends, you know, everyone's talking to like, oh, what's gonna happen? Are we gonna be the same group? Who knows? And we're gonna roll a d4 to see who we see first. We watch what looks to be a Klingon lieutenant just standing there. He looks to be going through a data pad and walks up just, Cadet Val. Cadet Val. Cadet.
Thank you for pronouncing it.
Elle, would you like to introduce your character?
Baal is a fairly tall in stature. I almost said Klingon. Vulcan.
Wild change of character.
Wild. A full Vulcan. The difference is because often Vulcans are shown with darker hair. She has strikingly ginger hair, red hair, and monochrome. Is that what it is? The different eyes, one green, one silver, or gray.
Yes, I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
And she is comparatively the most intricate. She know Val knows this word, and Ellen
Intricate.
Intricate.
Heterochromia.
Heterochromia.
I knew, yeah.
Heterochromia. Basically, is made sure that every piece of her uniform is to code and beyond.
Right, Cadet Val, you will be in Group Gamma. Please follow me. As kind of leading you through. Again, he's not the only lieutenant. A lot of these lieutenants, commanders, just like people helping out today, have data pads, calling out names, going through the ground. And it's hard also. Again, there's a lot of that buzz in the hallway, that high tension of we're so close and feel confident, but man, everything's so hard. Eventually brings you to kind of like a little side hall entrance. As just, all right, Cadet, please, of course, stay here. I will assemble the rest of your crew.
Thank you, sir.
Gonna keep moving onwards, and we kind of do that fun little bubble fade away from Val for just half a second into a bit of a flashback. Val, we see the planet Vulcan. Beautiful, slightly more reddish than Earth is, right? It's got a lot more open rock areas. Still, of course, water. We see some of the cities in Vulcan going around, very similar now to the ones on Earth. Again, everything has been much more updated and upgraded over the many centuries. But we eventually come to a small little group quarters, which we know to be your home. Val, you see your parents, of course. As your parents are here, your father has just finished speaking. Just, Val, it is highly admirable of you to wish to join Starfleet. But of course, it is highly illogical, given your apprehension and incredible scientific mind, to leave the Vulcan Science Institution.
I understand that the Vulcan Science Institution greatly appreciates and values my work, and I know that I can do much good there. However, there's something in me that feels logical to help advance Starfleet as well.
Your mother kind of speaks up. Feels logical?
Hmm.
What a very human thing to say. I do believe maybe you've spent too much time with the humans that have come to Vulcan.
My friends do not concern this conversation. I merely misspoke.
Your father just... Of course, we have no concern for your friends. Only for your personal academic interests. The Vulcan Science Institution you would not only excel at, thrive at, but you would be able to immediately be promoted to whatever commanding position in the Vulcan homeworld.
You see, Father, I wish that's the wrong word. It feels logical to join Starfleet because their reach isn't just homeworld. Do you remember Aunt... I didn't choose a name for the internet, crap.
Would you like a name?
Yes.
Sorry.
James! That'd be the all part.
I mean, I just have a ton of backup names of all the races.
Yeah.
Your Aunt Tamu. I'll just have to mark down I've used that one. Aunt Tamu is... well, of course, we see... Like, there's a picture, of course, in this room. It's not uncommon to have... Aunt Tamu, your father's sister, who did also join Starfleet. You see your father turns... Of course, it was only logical, though, for my sister to join Starfleet, as she had no current desire to join the Vulcan Scientific Institution. But of course, us being your parents, and being able to provide the logical inference that joining the scientific institution here on Vulcan is a highly more probable for your successful future than
I have a
Starfleet.
question for you, Father.
Please.
Are you me?
How logical? Of course I'm my own person.
Then wouldn't it be more logical for my decisions to have weight than decisions you make for me?
Your mother is one. The logic is sound. You may apply to Starfleet, but understand that at any time, you may come join the Vulcan Scientific Institution.
Thank you, Mother.
As kind of bubbling back away into this first... Wow, one of our first, like, very cool... Sometimes, like, we have, like, just kind of chill, like, why'd you join Starfleet? This was, like, a very Vulcan conversation to have of, like...
tense there, bud.
Got a little tense in the logic. But, of course, sitting there, thinking back, of course, your aunt, who currently you believe is, like, lieutenant commander serving off somewhere in the high northern beta quadrants, like what we would know as, like, up near the Romulan empires. Just because Klingon and Romulan are very close enough that it's easy enough to understand each other's languages. And so it's just that natural thought process, only logical, to think about her, and of course how far you've come. You are very close to graduating. As we move on, we see our next visitor, shall we say, or cadet, making our way through. The Klingon lieutenant eventually finds his way up to a rather impressive figure, just... Cadet Gorin, Sal. Sal. Cadet.
Sir.
Follow me, you're in Group Gamma.
Yes, sir.
As walking through, we have then this kind of similar moment of passing through. Again, you help part, like a Klingon and a Gorn, like moving through is that like most cadets and me like, well, I don't want to get trampled. Like, okay. We kind of cut back, of course, too. As we see some of your upbringing, shall we say, I actually have a bit of a question for you. Where do you think you were when you decided to join Starfleet? I don't think we ever really decided on that. And hello, first-time people in the chat. I'm so sorry, I always forget this. Super excited to have you. Hope you stay.
I think I was in my parents' home, trying to... I don't know if beg for forgiveness is the right term,
Yeah.
but trying to figure out a comeuppance for my mistakes.
We cut, of course, to Gorn, seeing that like bubble away fade. On the Gorn homeworld, in front of your parents. Your parents are there as well as many of the relatives. The Gorn are a highly like familiar based world and people. Like, it's that, oh, my aunts and uncles and second uncles, third aunts are, like, everyone's so well connected. And so it's not really just your parents here. There's a lot of family that maybe are watching. The whole community's here, you know. You've heard the expression, it takes a village. Yeah, the Goran go, well, of course it does. We are the village. As your parents just here and just, we do not understand. This is simply unacceptable. How could you have done this to us?
I'm sorry. I didn't realize my decision would have had this consequence.
You see your mom, who actually, your mother being the more matriarch of this kind of community, just like steps forward, just, every action you do affects us all as a person, and as a whole, and as a community. What will everyone else say? What will they think? Oh, thanks for the follow.
I think Sal just puts his head down in shame. And he's on his knees, too. He's not
Yes, it's
with his mother.
very much prostrated in front, Sal, this Gorn. It's kind of intimidating where, like, there's, like, all your family members, relatives, people you've known from birth, all, like, looking at you, just that apprehension of, like, we don't know what's going to happen. And your mother just kind of steps forward, just, you must choose your own path. Do not return to us until you understand who you are. As she kind of turns away, you see your father just kind of nod in that agreement of, like, fair, harsh but fair, like.
Yeah, I'll look back up at her. I'll bring honor back to our family name.
Kind of clasps you behind. It's very much that, like, feline thing where grasping the back of your neck, but you realize it's just to get closer, and your mother just, make us proud. Releases. You cut away. Again, it's easier than most sometimes to join Starfleet if you're from Federation planets or have the ins.
Yeah.
And so when you applied, it was that kind of like we see the montage of, like, putting an application, the shocked face of, like, whatever poor lieutenant was working the desk that day, like, oh, or you want to join? Like, as it's, like, not impossible, it's not restricted at all. It's just that, like, oh, really? Like,
Kind of unheard of.
you're not from Earth, and you're obviously a Gorn. All right, cool. Like, it's so passing the entries, and I'm seeing this walking up. Val, you see this Gorn approach.
And Sal is also very tall. Very, very sleek. His tail is probably as long as him.
For sure.
So he kind of holds it up so it doesn't get stepped on so much. But rows and rows of very sharp teeth, green spots over black scales, and these golden eyes that are unblinking right now.
Yeah. Val, this big old Gorn comes up. The Klingon officer just, wait here, we still have 2 more for your group. Kind of like checks a box and keeps walking on.
Greetings. I am the owl.
Just sticks his tongue out. Sniffing it.
It's hilarious.
I was trying to rack her brain if that's like a traditional greeting in gold.
Yeah, just like, have I read about this? What is going to be? We see, not too long after, as you guys are waiting here kind of in your hallway, immediately though, you see the Klingon lieutenant is returning. In his wake is another rather impressive figure. Would you like to introduce your character for us, Lincoln?
Absolutely. So, Gibbs is fairly tall. He's like, I don't know, 6.5 feet tall, roughly. He is wearing his Starfleet cadet. I assume it's not like the full uniform yet. It's just like the cadet's outfit.
Yeah, it's like cadet's outfit. I mean, like you have your. It's the exit exam. Please wear your uniform.
Yeah, exactly. So he has his uniform on. It is so like, it fits him really well. Muscles bulging. He's cut it so it's a crop top. You can fully see his like 8-pack ribs poking through. He's not wearing the cadet like the regulation shoes. He has his own shoes on that look like super worn leather, but still very like. Clearly, he takes better care of these shoes than like anything else on his person. His hair is in long dreads going back, and it's kind of a mixture of like Like, you can tell that they're not dreads because he cultivated them, but because he didn't care to clean his hair, and they just kind of matted. Yeah, he has
Gross.
deep green skin, and you can kind of see poking through the parts where you can see his tattoos kind of all over his body.
I will actually ask, go ahead and roll me a d12 with advantage real quick.
And
One
a
is-
D4.
Just the d12,
No!
actually. Not at all. We're not going to that.
It's a 9.
You have a 9-pack, actually.
I have a 9-pack.
And okay.
I have a solid
Got
9-pack.
the one at the
Got the
bottom.
one at the bottom that makes a little
Yeah.
gutter like that. Boom.
Yeah, exactly. But just absolutely shredded.
We now see a impressive looking, like most people would go like maybe he's Orion because of the green skin, but like Orions don't have like the kind of dreads because like the hair also usually ends up being a little more green, so it's very much that like wow, what kind of like homeworld is he from? So we now have this giant unknown dude, big old Gorn, and Vulcans are no slouch, like Vulcans, but it's that wild like
The
hey,
owl is like canonically 6'6".
right? So it's not like I'm a tall person and yet they're still outpacing you. It's not like, oh my gosh, like
I did
wow.
not
Owl
mention that
appreciates
Sal is
being paired
7
with
feet.
people who are
Yeah,
taller than
7 feet, 6'6", like 6'5", like
Well,
it's
we're about the same size. I'm just about 3 times as thick as you.
thick.
Brick wall.
Thick.
Thick old.
And I forgot to mention, but I do have feline style eyes as well, but they're like a
Yes.
vivid blue.
Yes,
So they
again,
have the slits going down.
very much. It just adds to that, like, who are you? Like, what's that? Is that like Acacian because of the feeling? No, because like, why is his skin gray? It just becomes this like overarching. You probably have like classmates who ever so often just like you catch them staring, and it's never a rude way. It's just always that like,
It's like, where are
I
you from?
don't get
No,
it.
where are
like,
you really from?
like
Where
your
are you
homeworld because
from?
you have too many
No,
options.
Like,
Like,
oh, I'm from Kentucky.
Yeah.
Where are
Kentucky.
you really from?
Kentucky.
Grew up in Connecticut.
we actually cut not to when you joined Starfleet, but actually a little whiles in, Gibbs. We see kind of fading away. You are in the office of the Fleet Admiral. Fleet Admiral Hank Noble. Rather impressive man. You know, he's got that very like slick black hair starting to gray on the sides. Is sitting there looking at a data pad. When he called you into his office, it was that like, that's all right. Sitting before you, you see that Admiral Noble just. Well, of course, Cadet John Shredder, your flying records are quite honestly perfect. You excel in hand to hand. Do you know why I asked you though to my office today?
Gibbs thinks back to his failing courses. I honestly have no clue.
Well, Cadet, it's a simple matter that while you are extremely professional and, of course, proficient in the skills you apply yourself to, it is troublesome that you are failing academically in every other course.
But have you considered this? And he takes out his little axe that he keeps with him and just like,
I'll make a check for him. Let's see.
Have you considered this?
On a 19, Admiral Noble stands up, pulls out 2 knives, and starts juggling with you. Just
wow,
Buff.
another
gonna make a check.
fellow of the trade.
Wow, that's synthetic toy. He then takes a knife, flicks it behind the back, catches it with 2 fingers. Just, but one needs more than a singular trick, Cadet, to succeed in Starfleet.
I get that.
As he puts away these like fun little ceremonial, like, it's very much that like, oh yeah, this is definitely his office. He's got like a couple knives on the wall, a little map of the galaxy, like what you'd expect out of Fleet Admiral / like technically head of the Academy.
Mm-hmm.
Fleet Admiral Noble though leans forward. Just, Kenneth, I would highly advise that you should find more proficiency in time for your other studies before the final examinations.
Thank you, Admiral. I appreciate you taking the time to meet with me.
Of course. Good luck.
Thank you.
As
Yeah, I walk out of the classroom and go pay somebody for test answers.
you straight up just like, all right, what's the goal now? It's like, as we see cutting away, finally, of course, a final figure is walking towards you. Would you like to introduce your character?
Yes. My character is Black Opal. He is 7 feet tall as well.
It's just a
His
height
mother was
competition?
14 feet tall. So,
Big.
yeah. He has 4 arms. Got that from his mom too.
Mhm.
And he is not as much of a beefcake as yours, but
Not as much.
he's got like the sleek kind of chiseled, but not like basically like not like a bodybuilder, or he's less than you in a way.
Mm-hmm. But
Not
still
like-
very muscular. You're more of a runner's body.
Yeah,
It's
and
there's different types of physique for sure. Yeah.
he's like running around in the woods like Archer kind of
I meant 6 feet. I'm sorry.
vibe, and so
Actually, I'm the shortest. Which is hilarious because often Vulcans are the giants.
Well, and it's
I
not
would
even
say
giants. It's
giants.
just like you're
But,
gonna
like-
always see as Vulcan like 6'4", 6'5", and so it's funny to have like maybe just 6 feet, but when you have 7'7", 6.5",
Yeah,
it's
I
not
would
like
to say she
oh.
is like just about 6 feet. She's actually quite short. for a Vulcan.
you see that on one of his palms is a crystal,
Mhm.
and he walks up, has really like kind of a big ol' mane of hair that kind of just poofs, and he's got it in like a big ol' ponytail, and his eyes are like a solid black with it's kind of like a reverse eyeball.
Mm.
So it's like instead of
black to white.
The irises
Yeah.
being the color.
it's the white, and then there's the color of just kind of a pearl-ish purple
Excellent.
as like the,
No,
the
I know it's
pupil.
not pearl, but
You walk forward,
Pearl is.
black opal, as you come up. Once again, just excellent. I believe that everyone is in attendance. You get watch as tiny little like pad illuminates for this lieutenant. He goes, no, I see. You'll be joined by a 5th companion who was already towards the holodeck simulations, but is now going to be joining your group due to overflow.
Wait, we already walked up to the group.
Yeah, so it's not like
We have
you
a little
four. It's
secret
like
handshake.
a little,
and one more.
yeah,
All
quick
4
secret
of his
handshake,
hands.
and one more that will arrive. Oh yes, and of course for those in chat, how do you get into D&D? Just try. Find a group, find them online, just for some fun tips. That's a great question, chat.
Oh yeah.
Want to get into D&D? Just try your best. Have fun with it. There's really no right or wrong way. And if people tell you they're trying too hard.
You can watch some D&D podcasts like this
D&D
one.
podcast. Of course, yeah, watch our podcast.
Go
you-
back and watch the Vanguard series that we just did.
Superhero series, super fun. That's a super
Teen
chill way.
superheroes
Like
stuck
you
in
could do
Florida.
whatever with
You could
D&D.
do whatever
like
with
we,
D&D.
We've done
We've
Disney,
done a-
we've done superhero sidekicks, Harry Potter.
Demigods and Deities, Percy Jackson, Rick Riordan, Harry
did.
Potter,
Obviously written by Hatsune Miku.
Hatsune Miku. We've got so many random styles. You can do whatever you want. As of course,
It's in the imagination.
we watch Black Opal. You guys are starting to walk along this hallway. Like, the lieutenant moves his way to the front, and you watch as little stars and arrows kind of illuminate holographically and kind of move their way down the hallway. Just that little, like, there's so many cadets taking tests today. It's like, it's going to help you guys know where to go. But as we walk Black Opal, we kind of cut back to when you were figuring out if you want to join or not. We see your dad, which of course is not a gem, but a man. You see Matthew Parth, or Matt as sometimes he's known, but you see Mr. Parth is sitting there, one of these moons of Neptune, looking at you. Just, well, are you sure you want to head off? I mean, you got great scores, kid. You're gonna go so far, but you sure now's the year?
Better now than never.
All right, you know I love you,
I know.
and I know I'm not your dad, but you know,
Well,
you're gonna,
I'd say you are.
I got something for you. As he's gonna pull out, you see he pulls out a tiny little, what looks like a gem, but immediately realize like it's probably a glass plastic component, like just a tiny little heart that is flecked with green and black. Just, I want you to take this with you and just remember, I love you, and you're gonna do great out there in those stars, kid. Okay.
Every time I look up at the sky, I'm thinking of you.
Every time I look at the stars, you're gonna have to look, of course, towards Neptune. I'm probably not leaving Neptune for a while. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
So if you know where Neptune is, you can probably just course correct and.
Yeah. I'll do the math.
Oh, before you go, and he's gonna start buying just like food, snacks, all the stuff. Of course, this was a while back before he left for the academy. Those snacks lasted so well into the semesters; they were great.
Yeah. And if you look, he's got his hair tied back, but like he's fashioned that little hard crystal thing onto the tie.
Yeah. We move through the academy halls and eventually find our way to the holodeck simulators. Holodeck simulators, of course, you know, are basically used for close to everything when you're talking about practical classwork, because it can simulate whatever you want. When you really look at like how much people have done in terms of like in Starfleet, they've got simulations for practically anything. You want to know how to like sweet talk a Romulan into going on a date with you to save an ambassador's life? They got it. You want to know what it was like to fight off the Borg while also being assimilated? You got it. You ever want to play a flute? You got it. Like, it's literally, holodecks are used for everything. And so it's very much approaching like, oh, of course, we're going to be on a holodeck. Like, makes sense.
Goat Simulator.
Goat Simulator, basically.
5.
You ever want to be a goat?
I have
Or a
to
very
check,
horrible
actually.
goose?
Currently, we're on Goat Simulator 11, actually, is the most popular one that came out with of this year.
How many
Simulator
Untitled
12 is
Gooses
out,
are
but it's
there?
not as good.
How many untitled gooses are there?
Yeah, Untitled Gooses right now, we're up to Untitled Goose Game 2, and it's okay.
That feels appropriate.
Doesn't beat
Yeah.
the original, though, like...
Yeah.
It just was so long, eventually became public domain, and someone's like, I'm gonna make a second one, and we're like, eh.
And then when the holodecks came out, you could just like be the goose.
Goat
And,
Simulator
like,
took off, like, when the holodecks became huge. Walking into
like you get to
the
be the
sim,
goose.
you see, of course, standing in front of you is Fleet Admiral Hank Noble, who is finishing talking. You turn. There's a human who is now, of course, the smallest of the group currently. Currently about maybe 5'6", but you see this human man turns, just Cadet Sowards, and starts shaking everyone's hand. Just you see Admiral Noble just, yes, it looks like Jack got a little left behind. There was too big of a group by accident, and so he'll join to make you a good group of 5 for your examination. Please be advised, of course, like Admiral Shaw said, if you are to not take this examination seriously, and he kind of like looks at the 5 of you just in that like serious way of like, there is always the possibility of failing your final examination, but we wish you all the best. Your examination will be set in groups of 3, starting with more physically challenging, then of course a written portion, and finally the simulation. Good luck. As he kind of salutes you all, you notice, of course, leaving. This is where we get a fun little... All of you wearing cadets uniforms, everyone's got the fun little, like, band stripe of color, though.
I was gonna say when, what was it, Hank? Or the name of the person you just told
Oh,
us.
Jack Soward is
Jack.
the name, yeah.
When Jack
Or
was shaking
Cadet
her hand,
Soward.
or Cadet, you noticed that the owl wears gloves over her hands because shaking is often a traditional way of greeting people, but
Ain't about it.
I'm not about touching.
It's,
And so, you see, you've got actually, which is interesting, the small little blue color around your collar, of course, denoting a more science path. A blue collar around yours as well, a little more science. We have currently a command color, like a red around yours, because piloting in hand-to-hand is usually more command-based. And finally, a more operations, kind of that yellow, because it leaves you open of like, I can do a lot in Starfleet. And so it's like, you don't have to like, decide. It sounds bad, I'm not dissing on ops, but it's like, you could be an engineer, you could be a security, you could be a tactician. Like, there's so much you can do in ops, and so it makes it nice to be like, I got yellow. Moving, of course, into the sim, when Fleet Admiral Hank leaves, or Fleet Admiral Noble, you watch as your lieutenant kind of salutes him as past, nods to you, presses button. As the archway closes, you also watch as it kind of dissolves away. Right before it finishes dissolving, though, Doors open again. Fleet Admiral Noble says, I'm so sorry. You see, he's holding now quick data pad. I am supposed to inform you all, we are having a bit of lag in the system with all of the cadets taking their examinations today, so please be advised if anything seems to run slowly or not look proper. Treat it as if it were a full simulation test, real. We won't demerit points on that. That is a system error we're currently experiencing. We apologize. Kind of just in that, like, oops, before you begin, like, alright, just in case. It also covers me in case I stumble on my words. No. But as, of course, everything dissolves away, you watch as these gray tiles that kind of form in what seems to be very a cubic room start. It looks normal, like, okay, we're staying in this room. Light source isn't totally discernible, probably just some paneling, as the ground, sides, and ceiling all start pixelating and dilapidating into black spots and growing until you are all standing in what seems to be just a void. At this point, I would love everyone to roll initiative. Bum. Oof. Here we go. Let's start with Black Opal. We'll go alphabetical. Oh, you're pulling up. We'll start with whoever's got it ready.
22.
22 for Sal.
Synthetic 21.
Synthetic 21 for Val.
I got a 12.
12 for Gibbon. And Black Opal.
That is. Hold on.
Hope.
Does the Dread Ambusher thing auto come on to the...
I don't believe so, actually. Dread Ambusher for D&D. Dread Ambusher is something where... Oh, no, because it does count as initiative. Yeah, so if you want to add your wisdom, you can.
So that's Dex plus Wisdom for initiative, making it 7, so 27 with a nat 20.
27. Excellently done. Important to note, Black Opal, as well as for everyone, currently, points of inspiration have changed a little. We're not doing the 1 D&D rules technically right now, as rolling a nat 20 won't give you the point of inspiration. I've slightly changed it for our Star Trek season, so they will be coming, of course, probably more frequently still, but it gives that, like, there'll be fun stuff. Also, always please tell me if you ever roll a natural 13. Some fun stuff might start happening.
You die. Yeah.
You die. On nat 13.
A
You
hole
make a new
opens up in
character.
the ship.
Now.
Wilhelm sound begins.
Yeah. It's full on. Excellently done. You watch as the voice of Admiral Noble, probably a pre-recording, as he's probably, of course, introducing a lot of cadets just moving around. The ground around you becomes rocky, as fading in slowly as if from a Polaroid camera. The rocks and hills of what Val, you know as Vulcan, appear before you. Admiral Noble speaks over an intercom, a pre-recorded message. Your first challenge will be one of athletic skill. You have been placed on the planet Vulcan, which is experiencing a minor seismic activity. Your current objective is to make it across the crumbling and tumbling fields to a nearby transport facility which will be able to beam you off planet successfully. You may begin at any time. And this is where we're going to roll a athletics checks for everyone as we all start to kind of run.
Would I have advantage?
You actually would. As fun fact, you grew up on Vulcan. Maybe it's unfair, but of course there's multiple parts that it has.
Do I have my all of my resources?
All of you do. You notice also, while technically you don't have your phasers yet, like those will come with the ship, you do watch as phaser tricorder combat kind of like synthesize onto you for the test, and so it's like, oh, okay, like we have access to anything we really need. As they want the test to be fair, they don't want it to be like, oops, what could happen? So,
Like all of my stuff.
all your stuff.
Okay, just making sure. But I am last in the initiative.
Yes. Black Opal.
What's the terrain again?
Athletics. It is rock and tumble, and you're watching. It is an earthquake feel of like every so often rocks are crumbling, towers are slow. Like basically earthquake on Vulcan, pretty severe thing because again it's basically a rock planet, so they feel it hard. And it's an athletics check. Just try to make it across this field right now.
Okay.
Um,
Can I... Bonus action Zephyr Strike, which
Yeah.
gives me a added 30 to my speed.
Yes. Oh, right now it's not the
Or is it
speed
not
that you need. It's
the
more the pure athletics of like, can I run and keep my strength up while like
God.
it's. Can you engage your core and your legs and like because if the rock starts crumbling, you got to be like I just got to jump and run
So
and stuff
then
like
I
that.
will not do that.
No, you're totally fine. That's a great question though to ask. And yes, for those in the chat, this is a level 3 campaign that we're all starting in.
Question, DM. Do you know that beginning storyline I gave you that you said that wouldn't be a kickable out of offense? Could that have still happened, but during an earthquake, to one of my human friends?
Possibly. I will say for the purposes of this, probably not. Just because it's like, this is more just a random test
Understandable.
feature. No, it's a good question. What'd you get, Black Opal? Aye.
Got. So it's athletics?
Yes.
19.
Black Opal. So strong with a 19. Moving our way down to L.
26.
26. Holy cow. We have Val.
Oh no. Advantage. Advantage.
You have event. Yes. It's one of those few times where it's like,
Nat 13.
Nat 13. Val.
You die.
This is...
Plus 2.
Ready for this? So, a 15. You have a choice right now. The options are as thus. In this moment, you might be able to do well in the test as a whole, or you could pry a little, but it might mess you up later on, if that makes sense.
Later on.
You know the idea of, like, if you're reading a test, the idea of, let me look at some of the answers later on, if that makes sense. And, of course, it naturally distracts you of, like, ooh, but now I'm not paying attention to the question I have. That's what I'm saying. It's a choice. I won't tell you which one's good or bad. Nat 13s are going to provide more choices for you guys. Just, like, pure, unadulterated, like,
It's the Janus number.
right? It's the 13.
But
It's
I still succeed.
right now on a synthetic 15, you get the feeling you're succeeding. Anyway, it's you might be able to pry in, maybe gain a bit of information right now, but that might mess
That
you
would
up.
be cheating.
If you stay. See? There you go.
No.
Okay.
Well,
No,
as much
I
as
love
want
it.
to, that would be cheating.
I love it. Val, you take off across the field. Well done. Gibbon.
Does it look like I'm going before or after Jack?
Right now it looks like you're going after Jack. Fun fact, I rolled a natural 2 for him, which even with a great is like a 9. So
Okay,
you're acting before Jack.
I'm gonna... I like shenanery.
Shouldn't you?
I'm just gonna look at him and be like, alright, let's go. Grab him, like, by the back of his uniform, and my rocket blast.
Free
I
flavor
just-
Asmar. Go ahead. You're gonna make just a pure luck check, as there's no way you'll be able to make athletics. That's just clever. But make a pure luck check, because something might still happen. Of course. Like
boy.
there's still rocks falling. There's still stuff. But
That's a
Cinematically.
19.
19. You just like easy over.
I
easy,
see that,
easy.
and I'm like, but they're cheating.
I will say logically yes, they did ask you to make your way across, but it's
Am I not making my
Research.
way across?
it's as you land, you both have that little like, did I not make my way across? You see Jack Cadet Sour just like lands just, whoa.
We'll be a crew.
Thanks. Perfect. Of course, all this time,
Work as
so
a
out on a 26,
That's your DC
like
20
it's that
style.
cool like half cat, half lizard, like where you can kind of almost all four some runs where it's like you kind of
Cat lizard.
parkour off of a rock, tuck and roll on the ground, run your way through. Dude, it's so easy. It feels great. It's like
It's
I
like
can do
I have
athletics.
an extra appendage. My tail is very muscular.
Balance, extra limb,
I
and
will
of course
say, did we
Black
already
Opal.
blast and land? Sorry.
Yes,
So
like
when we landed, I immediately turned around, pulled out my rifle or my phaser. Not like I'm
Phaser.
targeting at them, but like if I was providing cover in a like
excellent.
in a
Yes,
bad
it's
situation.
clever. Like, hey, I'm not just getting there. I can now cover. As I will say, you get the feeling that might help. Little things like that of like, of course, they're not just testing athletics. You do that. Everyone makes it over pretty easy. Black Opal catching up with Val. Everyone coming up to this little transporter pad. As you feel the like transport, where you feel that swirl around you, just kind of starts dissipating way back into
As
blackness.
soon as we're safe, I start running medical scans on everyone. I know it's the whole thing. I saw his thing of checking for cover, and I'm like, hey, if we're playing that route of showing, like what we
Yeah.
can be and capable of, immediate medical scan on everyone.
I would love for you to make a medicine check in this point. That's super smart.
That one. Gibbon's dead.
Gibbon's been dead this whole time. The big twist of this season, Gibbon's just been a ghost.
I've already played. Sorry.
So many characters.
So many undead characters. Every character I've played for you
Is basically
has been undead
to
in
some
capacity.
purpose.
Toast.
It's gonna be Sims
Gusto,
22.
Yeah.
Sim 22. I will say, beats a DC
Wait.
20 for sure.
Yes.
As
Plus 5.
there technically is a higher DC 25, but you're still going to get a lot. You do the quick checks though. The thing, of course, is a holodeck can't actually do everything it does. Obviously, there's no real rocks. Obviously, there's no real earthquake. What it does is it basically tricks your brain by applying just enough of your senses of like sight or smell or touch. So like when you're running, it keeps the ground there that you need, or like if you fall or something, you kind of like catch yourself like, oh, I felt the rock. Obviously, it's not there. So you do the medical check. Everyone's perfectly fine. And it's just that like, yep, still there. But of course, it looks nice of like, oh, we completed a mission. Let's do a medicine check. Like, it looks good with the 20, and of course, it's that natural like, yeah, simulation's gone. Everything feels fine, thankfully.
Try to make eye contact.
I flick my tongue at you again.
You
I like
see
that.
Cadet Sour just kind of like,
Flick my tongue at you.
good job, let's get ready. He kind of does that like, very like,
What color is his shirt?
Cadet Maroon, but you see he also has a red stripe. He may be more to command track. I did forget to mention that.
That's Jack as well.
Jack, so you
Yes.
and Jack have
Yeah,
a command stripe, yeah.
We're hanging.
Two
We're
reds,
tight.
2 blues.
2 red, 2 blue, 2 yellow. As he gets ready, Jack kind of does that like very like we've all seen it in the movie and like the half crouch where it's just that like I don't know what's about to happen, so I'm gonna get ready if I need to run, jump, whatever. So he preps down
Just
as-
for clarity's sake, it went back to we're in the
back to
holodeck.
blackness into the void.
Okay,
like
so we're prepping for the next.
we
one.
did, and so
Now the
yeah, it's that
actual
like
voice-
oh thank goodness they're not just gonna go sim. Like we get a moment of like, right, breathe, collect your bearings. Probably maybe a computer or a person somewhere like, oh, that looked good, and taking notes. The simulation now is going to start slowly re-rendering. Yes.
Could I have? Wait. We're just wearing the cadet uniform. We can't be in like stealth or.
Yes. Right now, like there's, because also it's like they probably won't need you to be in stealth. It's like very much like, well, that'd be crazy. Like, here's your final exam. Go ahead and stealth up for me. Like, what? Why? Like, yeah. Because if it needs be, the simulation might just provide that for you if they ask.
Gotcha.
As you all watch, you find yourself planetoid, long grass everywhere, but in front of what seems to be a big old brick tower structure. The voice of Admiral Dover comes over the intercom. Cadets, your next simulation will of course be to find your way up to the tower. An ambassador has been taken by rogue Klingons and being held. You must make your way up there and prepare to rescue the ambassador.
Sal's gonna kind of just like stand up really tall. Who's good with words? I'm gonna carry her
Carry
and I'm
on.
gonna giant smite, so I'm bigger.
Oh,
and
yeah,
I'm just gonna
clever.
Start.
I was
What
gonna
we know
say-
is rune magic,
as
but
you
just
came
that
in,
natural one of like you feel the fire and boom, do.
I was
gonna-
going to say this is quite logical, as I know that you have scaling proud. It's like we're scaling the business.
I must
Boys
say
are
this is
now-
quite a mad
Love
death.
that noise. I'm on the other side of the tower from you, but going up at the same speed, so that when we get to the top, I'm
So now we left the human. I
or
want to
opposite you.
ask like Opal. Can you make sure you both get up safely?
Yeah, you see
I-
Jack like Christ, and I was like, I'm good, I'm ready to go.
You got 4 arms.
I look at both of you and then I just like tap my gem and like hit disguise self and turn into a Klingon, and then just like walk my way up to the
Smart.
front door.
I look
So-
over.
I didn't know there was
Do
a
I
door.
know
I was
your
just
name
gonna-
because of name checks?
Wait a
Yeah.
second. Was there a door?
Hold your stance.
Or
It's
was it
more,
just
you
like
realize
all-
it's
Because
like,
I know you're scaling.
obviously
It's
whatever
like-
plan
it's
this is, they
we
like
have
built their
disguise
buildings on
Klingon
top of
now,
big old just hunks
Yeah,
of
we'll
brick,
chill.
basically like
Okay.
maybe protection.
Well, yeah, no,
And so it's like, oh, there's definitely like maybe a tower building up there, but like it's more just the climb part that's probably the first big test.
Gotcha.
To
So
which
yeah,
I will
all-
then
all
ask,
I'm carrying.
what we'll start with is so Black Opal, Sal, and Jack. Are you going to climb or fly? Because that's an important question.
Can I use my jetpacks to give me upward propulsion, but run up like
For
with
sure.
my feet against
What I'll
the
say is
building?
you'll be making an acrobatics check with full advantage. Then it's like so you're not wasting all of your good
yeah,
stuff.
it's like
but
if I fall, I'll just stop trying
And
to
then,
run and just
okay,
fly.
let's go.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
So go ahead and make it with advantage. Sal, you don't, or Sal, you're going to be making yours. Val, you don't need to, as again, Sal, it's not very smart. Like, let's put our best negotiator on our back. Jack's going to make a check too.
It's only a 16 from me.
You
Jack.
said it was athletics or acrobatics?
Acrobatics. As of course, climbing a tower does require a bit more of that nimbleness, to, let alone your core. Jack got an 18.
I skip leg day every
Give
day.
it 16. Again, these are passing grades. You
What's
get that
what's
feeling of we're
everybody
doing
else's charisma?
pretty well.
This is Al asking. 12. 12?
16.
16? 12. So technically you're probably
Am I actually the most charismatic one in the group?
I'm 12 too.
We'll
Just
find
raw
out.
fuckable
This again, this is-
power.
Raw! The truest form of Starfleet. The raw sexual energy.
Yeah, is that not what Captain Kirk did?
It's true. Here we go. Black Opal, what did you get? Acrobatics check to just climb.
Or were you going up the inside of the building because you're a Klingon?
Well, he said
There's
there
still a
wasn't
climb
an
up to the
inside.
point of
Oh,
where you
I
could.
see, I
Yeah.
see.
Yeah, but a 19 again.
19. Hell yeah.
23.
23. Well done. And Val, you are being auto-passed, basically.
Hey.
All of you climb up really well. Like, again, Gibbon's more of just that, like, awkward, because, like, oh, let me slow my jetpacks a little bit, let me run. So, like, the 16 is only because you're keeping with the group, honestly. Making your way, eventually you find the base of just the tower itself. All of you kind of land, look around. There is, of course, a tower. You see inside, bit of column work, bit of stuff, and you see what looks to be an ambassador sitting amongst a group of Klingons.
I want to make a perception.
Perceive. All right, passive perception is saying like we should be good, but if you want to make perception checks, go. For it.
proficiency in it if you need me to give the help action.
I
Oh,
also
for sure.
proficiency.
With a help?
Hmm?
What's your
Oh yes,
wisdom?
if you've got the proficiency,
I
you're
have-
allowed to give that help action of like, oh, I can do that.
I roll
I have
proficiency
proficiency in
already.
like
+5.
nothing.
Oh, sit here.
Given I do thing.
I'm gonna roll insight.
For sure, go for it.
I rolled a 22 on perception.
22. You're thinking maybe it's just there's a couple things a 22 could be actually. I'll give you. Could be the sim not loading correctly. Like it's again, you look out, it's like wow, I can kind of see where like the edge of the cornfield just repeats in the distance. But up here, there's no like random enemies that are anywhere. You're seeing like okay, we're for sure just like on the top. Like it looks like just the person here. I have to make a check real quick. As reaching the top before even like Val, you're starting to get ready to talk. All you getting ready, the simulation starts ending, and you all hear bing, 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 little like happy sounds somewhere just in the back of the background. You get the feeling you may have already passed, as the hardest part was if you can get everyone up.
That's
Well
on a 22.
Yeah.
Well,
22
then
combined
inside
with
doesn't mean
the
anything's
lowest score was a 16 acrobatics to get up. Part of this was like if people can't get up in time, getting everyone up, if that makes sense.
Okay.
I feel bad that we left. This is the element. We left that human.
No, he's up here.
Jack made it on an 18.
Oh, never mind. I didn't know what he
Yeah,
got.
that's I waited
That's
to
also-
boost off
yeah.
until he was.
Just because it's like just in case. It's like you're also realizing Jack's not a slouch. Like he trains, but it is that like when all of you are like crazy, like strong, tall, powerful aliens, and he's like 5'6". It is that natural like
Yeah, he's from Chicago.
we want to help
like,
our small
just
friend.
a
He's so
guy.
small.
It's from Chicago.
As
What did my insight
insight into the scenario that you're in, or what you're realizing is everything seemed rather you're even noticing like the Klingons didn't seem to be moving that much, and so you like you were probably first on the uptake of like we already passed. They were trying to see like if we would focus too much on the ambassador part or just the natural like get up and go. Like it was more of a like, are you gonna hit the ground running and do your best, or are you gonna stop and talk? And so you were getting that insight of like, sweet, we did good on that one for sure.
Because if we stopped and talked, the hostage would have died.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, if they've got a hostage, you want to go. Like even if it means getting up there, maybe not looking your best, it's still a matter of like we got to do something. As the black void, before it even starts really finishing, like filling around you, you're already hearing Admiral Noble's voice again. Well done, cadets, in passing your next examination. For your third round of testing, you'll be transported to one of our regular fleet vehicles, a California-class ship that is currently suffering from power lossage. You'll be needed to, of course, hold your breath or find other ways of stabilizing the life supports while working for your power. in summary, in a D&D layman terms, there's going to be everyone's going to be making con checks together, not con saves, just con checks of like, let's see how long we can hold our breaths, get ready, and there's going to be luck checks that the DC and advantage can be given to like fix the ship
The
faster.
life support systems, would that be medicine checks?
Life support system, it's actually more of a technology thing, because
Could it still be
pure life
medicines?
support, like if you were trying to just bring something back to life, right now it's very much that like oxygen isn't working and like there might be too much nitrogen, which is gonna mess up a lot of aliens systems. Like we need to get everything stable first, because then medicine checks would come after in that natural like, well now that the air's back on, let's see, did anyone start passing out, like if that makes sense.
Understandable.
I'm gonna hold my breath for 15 minutes because I can do that.
Yeah. So here we go. Go ahead. You're going to make the con check at advantage for sure. Everyone is going to make the con checks. I'll gather these in a moment. So let's start rolling those. Ooh, Jack barely passed. Yeah.
Y'all see Sal's nostrils just close.
I'm about to pass out, guys.
Given what you get.
5.
Oh no.
This
get to
is
that.
a simulation,
Well,
I'm panting really hard.
I'll
from having
explain,
run
I'll
up the
explain.
building.
which means I would have emergency, like in Star Wars, it's the tax.
Oh well,
right?
yes.
Would I not have those on
I'm
me?
gonna
as
make a
a
pure luck check because it's would they've simmed it for you or like because there is
I
that
know,
natural like
it's
bring
check.
everything except this because like you know they want to make it fair. I'll make
Yeah.
a pure luck check though. That's something smart to think about.
I have a
I'll say
shenanigan
that pass.
question.
That have. Here's what I'll
How
do.
many do I have?
It will allow a quick advantage because part of this is it's not true combat time right now because keep in mind it's like we're all running around like hey I'll head up to the bridge, you
Seems
head to the
very
warp core,
abrupt,
you
like
head
a
here.
Vulcan just, like,
Yes.
I have a
slaps it,
shenanigan question.
you know, like
Yes.
thing in your mouth.
Because
Like,
our friend
it's almost like a
Jetpack
retainer.
Yes.
Like
is
a gummy
almost
retainer.
passing
Yeah.
out.
You can breathe through.
Since I can hold my breath for like 15 minutes,
Mhm.
is it possible to do like breath of life? Give him a little kissy kiss.
Gotcha. I'm gonna say no for
Okay.
that one because it's more of a
Oxygen's
you
already
can
in your
hold your
blood,
own
yeah.
air
Okay.
like it's holding your own oxygen. It's
Fair
more Gibbon would is
With
having that
advantage, I
trouble.
rolled a 14 though.
14,
Even
you're
if I
doing
rolled
great.
a natural 20 on my con check.
You natural, yeah, you're doing great. I'll say it is still that like oop. So you give a quick air canister. Where I will say from what I rolled, I'll only allow one. It was like an
Was
11.
he-
Well, I was gonna
worse
say
than
anyways. I would
human.
like I'd take the breath and like, and then I'd throw it away. Like,
Because
I
it's
don't
not
need
like
no
that.
shit.
Yeah, without holding your breath. Yes, Black Opal. What'd you
Oh,
get?
I got a 13.
13. 13 is still doing
I
pretty
rolled
good.
the 13.
Oh,
Oh,
a natural
And
13.
then I have plus 3, so that's 16.
16, much better. And before we get to the 13, but ow,
Synth 20.
synth 20. Couple things are gonna happen on the nat 20. Sal, with the nat 20, what was the total modifier? Actually, I have to make note of it for the con,
con.
just in general.
Was that a saving throw or just a check?
Just a check, yeah. Saving throw, because again, it would be saving throw if this was real.
Oh, okay, so that's a 23.
Right, 23. 23 is hella good. You are all running around doing great. Jack maybe is struggling, not in the sense of like he's bad at this, but it is that like all of you are doing physically exhausting things of like pushing yourself through the 0G, attaching, and ever so often like checking in. So you see like Jack's definitely like thumbs up, but it's not like, ooh, we better work fast.
We do have bigger lungs than him.
Exactly. All of you have
Yeah.
literal bigger lungs.
Yeah.
So here's what's gonna happen.
I have species advantage.
We are going to make now a pure luck check as what's going to happen each round is can you get life support back online? Is there's so much you could do, it basically becomes more of a rolled thing.
Life support can be an intelligence roll.
Well, it's like because all of you would have been making intelligence rolls, athletic checks to move the equipment, scientific checks to like stuff. So that's why I am saying like you're obviously all going to succeed on that front, and so let's see just naturally can we get it. Here we go. Oh. That was a 3. You go through, something's not firing somewhere. It's that like, you know, one of you like flicks that final power and nothing. And so it's that crap. Okay, we're definitely still.
I have an immediate first move.
Yeah.
Is there enough of this ship simulated that they would have airlocks made? Because I'll walk you through my logic real quick. Even though we're Starfleet, like next level stuff, there are still mechanical repairs needed on the outside of ships,
Yeah.
which would require spacesuits.
Yes. I just rolled a complete luck check because that's something. It's like that's for me. I'm like I can't say if the sim gets it because it's also like is our simulation doing better right now to load them in on a nat 1? the simulation is struggling just getting you to where you need to go in the first place. But not in a bad way. It's not like very much like crap. Like it's a very smart thing of like suit. And so it's like, did they plan for it? Is the simulation just being laggy or... yes, 1, 2, and I do start needing those contracts from everyone though. Yes.
Just asking about my 13.
The 13 is going to come up in a little bit.
Cool.
As it's not always a choice in the moment too. It's just something where I'm like, this is going to provide something for you.
Gotcha.
No, good question. My bad.
Intelligence.
Yeah.
Well, would I know what's wrong with the ship? Because I know we were talking about how I tried to do
just
the
easily.
city
It's
domain.
like, okay, the power's off, and what happened is breakers, or I shouldn't say
Like,
breakers.
can I make
It's
an
much more
intelligence
hectic.
check to be like, hey, eliminate, it must be
I'm saying
blank.
that's already happening. But that's where the luck checks is, because even if you go, you're gonna know. Oh, and fun. Thanks, Sam, for watching the stream. I just noticed Sam's in it, and he knows what's happening. Sammy! No, yes,
Sammy!
but you're already getting the great, like, passive checks of, like, I know what's happening, and so I can help my crew. That's where it's like,
In that moment,
easy.
I want to do a quick check on my crew and make sure everyone is doing good. Like, I want to make sure that
Well, here
Jack
we go.
is not dying,
Let's
we're not
see-
dying.
I'm
let's
gonna
see
give
what
you a
the
thumbs up
check is.
because I have.
Black
I give a
Opal,
thumbs
what
up
did
at,
you
like,
get for
I
your
know about
contract?
your gun.
My
You're
new
good for the
contract?
next 10
Your
minutes.
contract.
Yeah.
The next
Also-
round of contracts. yeah.
Also, I have Umbral Sight, so if
Take that away from me.
Hey.
Umbral Sight is
I
for
I
sure.
have Dark Vision, so
Mhm.
if that's
Yeah.
helpful. I rolled another 13.
Another 13.
So-
I will for sure give you something then now. I won't wait. Sal, what did you get for your contract?
It's so good, that's the problem.
Izzy, what did you get for
Now
yours?
it's
For
for
Sal?
Synth 20.
Synth 20, doing great. Val,
Hold on.
Yes, it reflects.
So we've got Sal and the Owl.
Sal and Val.
So Alan, but ow. That is 21.
21.
Actually.
Gibbon,
That's a big 1-6.
1-6.
Okay.
Jack's gonna make his check.
Give me!
Once again is holding the line with 10. You're starting to get the feeling maybe if he rolls below 10 or synthetic 10, he might pass out. And you're realizing, of course, if he passes out, nothing bad's gonna happen. It might be that he'll naturally breathe, and technically they can't restrict air; that'd be illegal. But it's that like he might get taken out of the sim, like camoed out of like, oops. Well, technically you would have just died.
Do I
And so
notice that he's on the brink?
he's been on the brink this whole time.
Are we anywhere near the medical bay?
I would say yes. Again, you're moving around a
We
whole ship.
simulate in oxygen tanks.
Because you had the oxygen tank before.
The oxygen tank runs on the ship's power, which you're trying to fix anyway. Yes.
That is such a flawed system. I don't say that.
This
Then
immediately
I
fails.
take it
Immediately
out.
fails. Here we go, gang. Pure luck check. You're all doing great. And again, it becomes much easier each round because deducing the
If he
problems.
needs to reserve his physical strength, I can carry Jack.
Ooh,
I mean,
you
I'm still
all
giant
did
might,
well. On a
Yeah.
17, you all pass the simulation test as flicking the last, moving, and it's like all of you going through, I'll say with the highest ones with Sal and Val, both of you go, and it's like that, oh, there was one pin just out of the way. You kick it into alignment, Val, you slam the button, you go, you all feel, take that big breath of air. Oh, yeah, okay, yeah, we can breathe the whole time.
Sal's still holding his breath.
Waiting.
Yeah.
But everyone for sure succeeded. No one passed out. On the 13,
Okay, there it is. I was just like, what do they
What do I do?
mean?
What does it do?
I'm also
Black
running medical
opal.
checks, even though I know the simulation. So, but you know.
you have a check somewhat similar to what Val would have gotten, where in this moment, there's something coming up. Something big. On a 13, I'm even going to give you this. There was maybe a half a moment you really felt like the air was getting thin. Or that natural, like, even when you're holding your breath, that natural, like, yeah, I'm doing this for a reason. But that's more superstition. Or maybe some just paranoia. Would you want to look deeper into the simulation? Which could prove disastrous, maybe. Or stay the course, but maybe miss out on something.
The first one. Of
The
course.
first one. You wanna dig a bit deeper. You look at your hand in this moment. It's just that, like, and of course, you know holosims are completely non-violent, non-harmful, unless you literally program like, hey, I need to do a hand-to-hand combat training, have the simulation punch me, if that makes sense.
Mhm.
when you were climbing the wall, there is the slightest abrasion. Of course, nothing that we could even consider a cut, but should it be there?
Do I see a cut on his hand?
Not at all, because of the nat. This is the nat 13. It's basically like a solo little thing of like, did that happen because it was supposed to? Were they trying to give more of a feel to the rock, slight abrasion, or is something else going on? And it maybe in this moment, your mind will kind of flick back to the lag, and maybe it was part of the lag. Because if a simulation doesn't know it's supposed to stay non-violent, safety protocol, maybe just for a moment, a rock was a little too real. But you don't know yet. As a Nat 13, you've chosen this path of let's delve in, and it could do something in the future for you that might be bad.
Have we gone through our 3 examinations?
You've finished the blackness fades away, and you hear Admiral Noble. Excellently done, cadets. Next up is the written portion of your test. If you all like realize behind you simulated are a bunch of desks and a data pad with a stylus to start taking a physical test.
If Sal could sweat, he would.
I'm just gonna be like
little arm jabbies.
Just like you got it.
You got it. All of you watch. Each of you take a little seat and watch as black panels just kind of like and giving you a little safety note. It's like, of course, never enough to like prompt any sort of like claustrophobia panic attack, but you also get the feeling of, right, if we're in a test, we shouldn't cheat. It's just to help like no peeking or other stuff. Here we go, gang. We're now into the written portion.
Well,
The first part of the written portion. You guys all did so well in the physical, and I'm like, we'll see what happens.
I think you guys actually hear Gibbon from within his little dome, like, well.
Yeah, for sure. Like, they're not soundproof. It's just like, if you start obviously giving answers, someone's probably going to click a button.
Like, hey.
Hey, quiet down over there. Here we go.
We haven't
The
known each
first...
other for long, but I wish you all luck.
Well, maybe Jack at this point, like, haven't we all been at the academy for a good 2 to 3 years now? Like, before,
Yes.
like, domes closed.
I don't associate with you.
I don't associate. I don't have a life outside of school. Here we go. The first part of the written test is going to include what we call in Star Wars 5e, Star Trek 5e, lore. For those wondering, it's a history check. So go ahead and make either a lore or history, and we'll go through. Black Opal, we'll start with you. What'd you get?
9.
9. Okay.
I think that's the one thing I don't know very well is history.
History.
Like, I know sciences, but, like, history has never
As
been, like...
these questions are going through, like, who helped found, or what planets were among the opening Federation? What was the first person to invent the warp travel faster than light? Like, a lot of these, like, history things where it's like, oh, I swear I know the name or the date. Sal, what'd you get?
18.
18. Sal, you're doing pretty good.
I
Val.
gave you all my luck.
Only what is most logical? A natural 20.
Natural 20. For a total of?
Oh, for a total of 25.
25. Val, yeah, this is every Vulcan child could answer this quiz. Like, let's be honest. Gibbon?
I got an 18.
18.
Feel
Okay,
pretty good, honestly.
You know that
Feels good.
again. It's like this isn't a test that tries to trick you. It is pretty obvious when it's like, hey, who started the Federation of Planets? Maybe the humans, Vulcans, and like, you know, it kind of gives you some of the answers in that sense of like, it just wants to make sure you know the important stuff. Always got to roll for Jack. Jack got a nat 20. Well done, buddy.
Yeah.
What a nerd.
Next
I did
up,
the
as you
worst.
all flip through, and again, you're all
Don't
taking
leave
your
it
own
on me.
pace,
I
so like
wasn't
some of you
track.
might be taking a while. Here we go. The next step is the medicine portion, or what we call first aid. Very much like, let's talk about different alien physiologies, different body types, like what to do if someone's doing. So this is going to be a medicine check
Would I?
for this.
I wouldn't be proficient
I
in
don't
that. I'm not
know
gonna beg.
if you would, because you're going to have the piloting
Medicine check?
proficiency
Yeah.
normally. Medicine check. So,
Ha! Nat 20.
oh my gosh.
Heyo!
Black
I don't need
Opal.
proficiency. I'm just thinking back to all the creatures that I've vivisected and like,
Mm.
yes. Do
Uh,
they have a third trick? Yes, they do.
Black Opal, what'd you get?
18.
18. Sal?
7.
7. Again, there's a lot in this one, so it's that medicine. Hit. Okay. I know. Like you hear the buzzer, like okay, I
like
swear.
literally can get hit points by
Can we
eating
hear the
people.
buzzer?
Yeah, right. Like I eat them. No, like
Okay,
buzzer.
but
They're
the
very
things
much
are-
simulated close to you, kind of just as a personal like, hey, we don't want you to like go so
Just
far
feel
off
like
track
a-
you fail by accident. And it's that kind of thing. Gibbon, you got a natural
I have a
20.
question.
Yes. Oh, natural
If
20
I
for total
can
of
give the
22.
22. Vaal, yes.
Can I take the number I rolled on this and switch it out? If that makes sense. I want that chief medical officer position.
What did you get?
I got a 24, but it's not a natural 20.
I
I
won't
think the
tell
total
you
number is
as
I want
It
to be able
may
to
be at a
switch my.
we'll see.
Can I get the natural 20 on the medicine and then the 24?
Maybe.
Do you have a skill for that?
Not at all. That's why.
So badly.
I know.
I didn't take my nat 13 earlier. Come on.
Jack got a natural one.
Oof.
Uh,
My boy Jack's a
Jack's not doing great. And he does. I don't think he has any. Yeah, he does have any bonuses to that. He's a command track. Okay. Finally, the last portion is going to involve planet geography, geology. This is going to be a nature check of like. Let's talk about like why can't a human walk around without a suit on Mars? No oxygen. Like a lot of questions. Like let's make sure you have a basic understanding of alien
I
life.
got a nat 13.
And nat 13. I'll
Can
get to
I?
that in a second. Black opal.
I rolled it once. It was cocked. I rolled it again.
13?
22.
22.
Plus 1.
Sal.
20.
21.
21. Val. 13 for a
Plus,
total of
yeah. And this is nature.
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 16. So that's why.
I'll get to that in a second. As it, unfortunately, choices won't allow you to swap previous.
Damn. Come on.
Gibbon.
That's a synth 20.
Gibbon, you are acing your exam. My
I
guy.
know. I'm sitting here like looking at my hands like, who the hell am I? Like.
You're like what
studied?
you
I
did
didn't study all semester.
I don't say that out loud.
Yeah, I know.
but,
I think
like,
that'd be funny.
I've studied well.
yeah.
Like,
Yeah, I'm like, what?
No, it's like you're
Did
the
I
kid that doesn't
learn
study all
by
semester.
osmosis?
No, actually, I just cheated and remembered all the answers to the tests.
No, I love that even better. Of like, I have hardcore paid people off, and I just.
I have
game.
really good memory recall, but what I didn't realize was that I
You
would
couldn't
just
use
as well
it in the
study.
first place.
But like,
It's you see all those things of like, here's how to cheat in like a professional exam. It's like, or you could use this apparent insane skill you have just to learn, like just do it in the first place. Given, I love that answer. All of you step away, and while maybe there was one or two for a couple of you like, ooh, I know that wasn't my section. The written portion comes to a close. Val, I'm going to offer you something on that 13. And this is going to be a similar thing to actually what happened in another campaign. Obviously, there's a simulation left. And you do get the feeling, not in a bad way, but that it's been pretty easy up until this point. You can do a tactical academic maneuver is what I'm going to call this.
Not cheating. But
It's not
actually
no, not cheating at all. In
academic
fact, what it is like in running, it's a bit of conservation of energy. Is I'll allow you to reroll at disadvantage that last check because it can help give you advantage in what's about to come. That like, hey, I know I'm passing. I could take a disadvantage to gain advantage later.
Okay. I'll
Like
take a disadvantage on
disadvantage. On the nature check you just did. That's
what? Done. That is gonna be 12.
12. So like decent, like it's definitely like not a 16, but you get that feeling of like I could probably just I've definitely
Serve
done
my
enough to
brain
pass
out.
this section. Let's just go. Like I'm gonna hold on to my literal energies to be ready for it because it's like there's got to be more. Like we've already done a physical, now we're in the ring. What's still coming? Like okay, just finish this. Prep, little meditation, little moment to myself. Right. Here we go. Yes.
Tiny potty break.
Yeah, we can take a break. We'll see you all after the break.
I got a tinkle.
And we are back. Thank you all so much that stayed through the break.
That was Al, not that.
As you guys stop the final written test, you watch as you take it, like it kind of like sinks down into the floor, probably go get processed through. All of you are standing in the darkness. And here, cadets, thank you for taking the written portion of the examination. We will now move into the full simulation, where you will be simulated onto the bridge of one of our newest ships, the USS Confidence. Please begin to Please begin to
It's glitching.
I pull
Please.
out my bow.
Please. You hear over the camera. We're so sorry, cadets. We will get this back up in a moment. Just hold tight.
I'd like to make
Everyone
a
be
perception.
on your guard.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'm gonna make a. I don't think I'm gonna.
I can give the
what's
help
better?
action to someone.
I'm gonna make a perception check
Go
as
for it.
well.
Or would insight.
I actually think either one. Both will give you different things.
I'll make an insight.
That's a
because I have
24 for
advantage
or 22 for
on
perception.
insight.
22%. Holy cow! That's level 3, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm just
I don't
saying.
have-
Can I
that.
prepare
Oh,
any
not 10?
medical
Oh,
things
yeah.
on my person?
Yeah, I have
On
I
your
have
person-
double
Any physical
expertise.
things I have on me right now? Can
Little
I
things,
prepare
Nat
that?
20. Nat 20. Nat 13. Nat 1.
Let's go on that 20! Yes!
For 25 on insight.
If
What's
you
going
had
on?
hackles, they'd be raised.
Mm.
On a 20 insight, you said.
25 insight.
25 total.
But natural 20 insight.
Something big and bad is about to happen.
Everyone brace yourself.
I already-
Do I get anything additional on a 22, or is that gonna come after?
A 22 will come after, because that was a perception versus
Based
insight.
on
That
my
is-
vibe from earlier, I think Opal would have just like already knocked his bow and then cast Zephyr Strike on himself, just like.
Oh, hey,
You're
I
right.
think I
For
have
whatever
something I
happens.
could cast on people.
I'm gonna do giant smite. I'm flavoring it as like, basically like hackles raised. I mean, lizards. You know how like they do like the thing. Where
Which
their
one do you
neck
think
gets
is going to be
bigger
our captain
because-
in the
You
simulation?
just hear like
Actually-
hissing coming from Sal.
Who do
You
you
watch.
think is our captain in the simulation?
Jack.
Around you.
Guidance. Jack.
Jack takes that guidance. The USS Confidence begins to simulate around you guys. And it looks cool.
And were we correct? Is Jack going to be our captain in the simulation?
You see, there is a captain's chair about middle of the room. In front of you, giant glass plexiglass combo. 2 seats in front of the captain, one to left and right. There is a seat on the left, like kind of a wall, like with what looks to be a lot of communication equipment. On the right is what seems to be what looks like a bit of a engine area, where you know a true engineers are going to actually be down in a warp core, but for simulation we got to have a spot. Out of these 5 areas, you hear Admiral Hank Noble's voice come on. Welcome, cadets. Please be advised that you are about to start the next portion of your training. You will each need to decide amongst yourselves who will become the captain, who will help be the pilot or helmsman, who will be in charge of technician and gunner, who will be the operator communications expert, and who will be the mechanic.
I can fly.
I'm really strong.
Gunner?
Gunner. You. Pilot.
So,
I point to Jack.
you should check. Okay. He goes, sits in the captain's chair. We've got... You're on the left side of him, where you've got, like, the helmsman pilot area.
I don't remember.
You've got the
Mechanic?
gunner / technician. Basically, you're in charge of not only any weapons, but also of, like, ship defenses and shields, if that makes sense.
Question. Is, mechanic gonna need intelligence?
Mechanic, actually... It
Or
depends.
wisdom?
Piloting's intelligence, technology's intelligence, but doing specific mechanics, I do believe, is wisdom.
Okay, I'm great at that. I'll do mechanic if you want to do communications.
Sound good?
What's comms?
Comms is communication, or rather, I should say, it is called operator. This is where we'll get to this throughout the campaign. A deployment, as of Star Wars 5e, is not your class. It's actually like abilities you can get. Like, I'm leveling up in this ship class. It means nothing outside of being in a ship, but they're fun things of like you'll get special powers.
Okay.
Of course, like Jack being like in the captain seat, he'll be a coordinator deployment. You'll actually get to choose here, Sal. You can either take the gunner deployment or the technician, be more focused into like the weapon systems or the shield systems, kind of give or take.
What needs more strong?
What means more strong? Probably gunner.
Gun.
Gunner, you're gonna have more
Gun.
opportunity. Like again, most of the stuff when you're rolling for these also uses the ship stats, but there will be more opportunities as gunner to use your own stats. Mechanic, of course, using a bit more wisdom base, and finally for an operator using more of the communication / other stuff. It's helping not only intership but also exoship communication. So like intercepting,
Works for
receiving.
me.
And of course, pilot. A helmsman is a pilot. If you didn't know.
I didn't. I had no idea.
Sitting down, everyone kind of gets ready. And you hear Admiral Hank is going to start describing the simulation to you all. Cadets, please be advised. There has been strange abnormal energy readings in a sector of the quadrant that shouldn't have any nebulae. Your mission is, of course, to understand where the nebulae is coming from and what energy readings. Be advised, there might be other vessels in the area that could be looking for said energy readings. Are you prepared to take the simulation? Are you prepared?
DM, can I cast detect poison and disease on the simulation? Because it's not creatures. Would it be worded for Star Trek? I want to see if there's a virus in here.
You check. There's no virus.
No poison.
Poisonous creature and disease. I'm also bending that spell hard for
come
this.
on.
In this
Star
moment, though,
Trek.
it doesn't seem like anything's poisoned or virus, but the simulation is running at like a high hot speed, if that makes sense.
We don't have a big enough
Graphics
processing unit for the entire.
Welcome, cadets, to your final examination.
We are ready.
You have received a distress call from the Kobayashi Maru, who is stranded in the edge of the neutral I need to make a deck save for Jack. He's sitting in the pilot seat. Or, captain seat.
But
He
yeah,
has guidance on him.
this of guidance.
Dex is
Oh, you said Dex?
It's total 9.
Wait, you said Dex?
Dex save.
Can I give him the help action because I'm proficient with Dex?
Yes, you can.
You're gonna like tackle.
All out. How are those dudes with 5? Good lord. Dice are telling this story hard today. That's gonna be a lot of.
It's like I'd reach over to help him, but it's like I'm too far away.
Jack takes 48 points of damage, doubling his max. Falls to the ground.
Spare the dying.
Kobayashi Maru, spare that. He won't be able to really get back up anytime soon, but he's not gonna die.
Done.
He is gone.
I
You watch
immediately-
as Electrify. Basically, as he was starting to look, all of you like naturally looking. There's little screens at your stations to be like, here's what your goal is. Here's what your
I'm
role is.
moving
Here's
away
what,
from the
is-
screens.
moving away from the screen. Immediately move back.
Like
Could
the
I-
tinctures I made earlier, I
Could I-
just
can you
put
hear
it
me?
into his neck.
Can you hear?
We can hear you. Can you hear us?
We can't hear him.
Simulation. Finish the simulate. Finish the simulation. We're working on opening or finish simulation.
Finish the simulation, guys.
All right.
What if he's saying don't
I'm
finish the
carrying.
simulation? Kept cutting out. Can I insight that?
Oh yeah,
Front.
dude. Insight. You are perceived, but for insight this campaign.
Inside.
I have advantage on insight. That's a natural 20.
Hey, yo.
Plus
Again.
my 5 for insight. So
They're trying to get you to say
Okay.
finish the simulation.
finish the simulation.
As
Finishing.
Let's finish the
stopping
simulation.
might be worse, as the screens have blinked. Your mission parameters are as thus. A ship freighter vessel known as the Kobayashi Maru was able to send out a distress signal from the edge of the neutral zone. So says stardate 57091, almost 200 years ago. This is an old simulation. Back when the Klingon Empire and the Federation were high tense, they basically had a treaty that could have been broken at any second.
Done.
Your mission parameters is thus. Find a way to contact Kobayashi Maru and either save them or do so without inciting all-out war.
Okay,
For-
and I've
sorry, just
stabilized
for-
Jack.
Clarity's sake, there's a Federation ship that is in Klingon space.
It is a civilian vessel. It's at the edge of the neutral zone, almost onto Klingon space.
Okay.
It sounds bad. If it was already in Klingon, it'd be that, oops. Like,
So-
that would be a hard no. But this is
We
like,
gotta
there's
get
a
to them
chance.
Okay.
Yeah,
now.
do we just gun towards it?
They said finish the
I-
simulation.
Alright.
Let's finish the
I
simulation.
grab the throttle and just
Sure.
I floor the ship. I go into a rage and floor it.
I immediately start
Harper.
spouting. I don't have. Eleanor doesn't have it, but I start spouting the official rule. When the captain is incapacitated, the next in command will take position. I look and say, "Shall we all
Nobody sit
share
on that
captain?"
fucking chair.
Well, yeah, it's like,
Yeah,
but
I know,
you
I'm
know
not-
it. Don't
Yeah,
tilt the chair.
I'm
but
already like into the screens of like
Comms.
the comms,
Mhm.
just like checking with the scan. And am I able to add my primeval awareness?
Unfortunately,
Or
no.
dark
Primeval
vision
Awareness is gonna more
to
help
dark
in
vision.
Planetoid. You're gonna be using ship stats for specifically doing stuff through that. Here's the stuff I'm gonna give you all.
Basically, I was just trying to
Real
say,
quick.
like role playing wise.
Who's
like,
next in
we all
command?
agree to
That's
be
something
our
you kind of
captain.
have to figure out too. Is like our captain Jack's
Like a
technically not
team.
dead or dying, but it's not like awkward. He's
Do we
out.
all
Out.
agree to co-captainship to save these civilians?
Yeah.
Yeah.
To save
Okay,
ourselves
here we go.
as well.
Val or L, please write down on your sheet a couple things you're gonna need to know as the engineer currently. The ship has power die. Each of you at your stations can use power die to do special fun stuff. Of course, when you choose these actual things, when we get into the campaign, you'll get to like set them in stone. The power couplings are as thus. Is a hub and spoke system where every system central has 3 power die, 3d8 that can be used as the person there sees fit. There's a central system storage capacity of 6 power die. Basically, everyone's got 3, but there's 6 that everyone can use. Helpful stuff, right? When looking at these power die, it is possible that you as the engineer can also use power die to move power die back and forth. Let's say, for example, Lincoln needs to use a lot of power die to pilot a ship in some fancy maneuvers. You can then say, hey, engineering's got 3 that I'm not using. I'm going to instead use one of them to move 2 over to him, stuff like that. Lincoln, you're going to keep in mind the ship has a flying speed of 400 feet and a turning speed of 300 feet. Really good stuff. As well as, of course, top of the line warp core. It's a 0.5. Like that's not the problem, so to speak. As pilot, I will say keep in mind the armor class of the ship is 17. As it technically does have a damage reduction thing, but that is a power die thing. Unfortunately, that would have to come from the captain seat, which is currently sparking and on fire. I would say the fire is going down. Like it's not like a raging fire, but it's power die reduction are things that like have to have captains do. Izzy playing Sal.
Yes.
From your space with the gunner, even though you're going more gunner stuff, you're going to keep track that the ship has 79 shield points maximum and 92 hit points maximum. Shields have a chance...
92 hit points?
92 hit points. Shields are the fun thing where it will always take away your shields first before,
Right.
and every round there's a possibility, if engineering and you work together, to bring more shields back online.
Okay.
Keeping in mind, of course, if shields ever break, they cannot be repaired until you're out of initiative, like dock somewhere.
Gotcha.
So you're going to keep track of that. And, of course, the guns. You've got double laser cannons, which each deal 2d4 energy.
Okay.
Laser 2d4.
Mhm. And if I ever talk too fast, also, this is one of the big documents that is on the Google Drive. But it's going to be easier to, like, take what you need in this moment. So you got 2d4, or 2d4, right? Because
Wait,
each...
okay, so 2 laser cannons.
2 laser cannons, each that deal a 2d4 energy. And those have a turret firing arc, meaning you can basically fire anywhere as long as they're not, like, right behind you.
Okay.
You do have a turbo laser. It deals 3d12 energy damage and has a better range, of course, but it is a fixed, meaning if you were to fire an enemy pilot would have to point you at a ship to use a turbo laser. You do have access to torpedoes and bombs, where there's a big slew of them. Everything from thermite to plasma to proton.
Okay.
Those are, of course, on the document. You can take a look at those. Basically, they just deal different types of energy. Keep in mind, if you fire them, ship's crew are going to have to be used to reload that certain kind before going. And you have 100 of each, but it is still that, like, you never want to, like, go all out.
Yeah.
This all being said, finally, for Shane, Black Opal, running comms, you've got some pretty good stats with the ship. Data, probing, and astrogation each give you a +6. Wisdom for scanning is going to give you a +4. And if you need to patch or do anything, it's a +8. So you got some crazy good comm stuff.
Redo that.
It's on the Google Doc. No worries.
Yes.
It's got like a +8 in patching, constitution stuff, shield, whole stuff. A +6 to like astrogation, data, or probing for intelligence. And a +4 to wisdom stuff for scanning. Its strength and dex are decent. On the Google Drive, it's called the USS Confidence.
Yeah.
It's it's the stats of the ship.
Yeah, the
Mhm.
+3, +2, +6.
Yes. That's the stuff you're going to need to keep, especially as communicator of this is what like people will get. Is you're going
Because
to
one of them you were saying is +8.
Mhm.
That's where I'm at. Oh.
Constitution. The ship is
saving
proficient
throw.
in saving throws and patch
Saving
checks.
throw.
Yes.
Got
+8.
it.
As most Federation ships, it's a standard of they need to be able to patch in case you're out there for years, right? Here we go, ladies and gents, and aliens and Pearsons. And there is recovery die where you can basically flip a coin for recovery die and fuel cost, but we'll get to that in the initiative. Everyone's going. You've decided to basically all co-captain, kind of like go for it. We're going to start Gibbon. You are at the helmsman's seat. Coming out of warp, immediately coming to the edge of the neutral zone. You stop and see the Kobayashi Maru. Small little freighter ship. It is floating out there.
It sure is.
Sure does.
Who's at the communications
Me.
station? Let's try to make contact with them before I fly any closer, just in case
Yeah.
there's something going on.
Go to make a probe check. It's going to be a +6.
That is a 22.
22.
Wait. Ship stats.
Ship stats. Yeah, the ship's giving you the +6.
Plus. Wait.
Because it's a probing check. Basically, like, what are
Right,
our
right.
sensors and stuff.
So that's. Yeah, it's still 22.
Still 22. Still really good. Kobayashi
Yes.
Maru, you know your comms are working. But as you go out, there's no response coming back. On a 22, though, you know it's because they have total engine failure. Doesn't, like, with a 22 probe also, life support seems to be on, but slowly fading. But it's that, like, they have no way of really talking back to us. It's that you could actually probably send out communications, but they just may have no way of, like, responding. And so it's tough of, like, are they really hearing us, or are we just talking to ourselves?
Okay.
So is that.
Oh, and on 22, you understand, there are 70 people on board.
Is that me acting on his instruction on
Kind
his
of-
turn? Or is that.
That is your
my-
acting. We have entered a ship thing. You all act together, but you can all only take one action before stuff needs to happen, if that makes sense.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I
I
was
don't know how this. I was just trying to say like, yeah,
I
whatever.
was gonna do a scan check for the possible enemies.
Okay, just looking over what we've got.
So maybe not go straight into it.
Yeah. Well, here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna. Can I remote pilot an escape pod?
Escape pods, unfortunately, no. You would have to get into one of the ship's little cargo
Like
ships.
I can't even remote release one. I have to be.
It's because each of them have their own minimal warp capacity, and so it's actually more just there's too much power in the ships to remote control. It's like you can't remote control a car just because it's still an insane amount of juice in it.
Yeah.
So we're saying that they might be getting our transmissions. What if we ask them, would they have weapons on board?
There's a civilian vessel.
Civilian vessel. Kobayashi Maru
I was
seems to
trying to
be a
think of
civilian.
any way that they could send us messages, like one fire for yes, two for no. Right? Would they have anything like that? Like light-wise, or maybe
It's a
light-wise?
gamble. It's a gamble.
Okay, we're technically, and they are technically still in, the neutral zone.
Neutral
right?
zone.
Okay.
As far as you think, it's like
Do we have
should-
like
we're just
long-range comms?
That's what we did.
That's what the comms was is like.
Well,
let's do
I'm
it.
meaning like not like too close.
Oh.
I'm meaning just blasted out into the galaxy.
Yeah, I'll check. You do have top line stuff where you can basically talk anywhere in the galaxy.
Okay, so I vote we just send out like a broadband message, just saying, you know, hey, we're the USS Confidence. We're coming in to save the
Kobayashi Maru.
Kobayashi Maru. We are in the neutral zone. If you don't hear from us in X amount of time, assume that we've been fired upon.
Sam says hi and says good luck.
Thanks. Because that way, we're not trying to escalate anything. It's just like the waving the white flag, saying like the Klingons will get this too. They'll
Yeah.
know we're here, but they will also know that everybody else knows that we're here.
I will say it's an action. You'll basically be taking this since you're right now finishing the let's talk to the ship. So your action will start being this let's send out a long range just to the fleet to everyone.
Yeah, and not
Um,
expecting a response.
That's
it's literally
something
just,
with a passive. It's actually something part of the simulation that I can just tell you. You're gonna send this out, which is really smart. Sending out the long range scans. You immediately get back that every single fleet ship is days away from coming to you.
Yeah, I'm not saying it as a help us and save us. I'm saying if shit hits the fan,
Y'all know.
we were fine. There was nobody around, so it was an ambush. But not saying it explicitly like that to
For sure.
incite.
It's
You know.
for sure. It's still a good thing. But that's what it's in a good way of okay, we know that our fleet's received it. It's very much you get those pre-recorded sims of ship's captain or people going oh yes, thank you for the information. This is where we are. We're still in the alpha quadrant. We're nowhere near the beta. Yeah, to give everyone the example, here's the neutral zone. You're right in the tip here of close to the Klingon Empire, still
Oh, that is,
Federation.
nothing.
I forgot
So
we
nothing, right?
Vintage on my probe check.
Here we go, gang.
So that's my turn.
Is there any other stuff you want to do before big actions?
Oh, can I make sure that because I got Spare the Dying on him,
He's
but I wanna-
out.
so he's just knocked out, but he's okay.
Technically not dying, but I can honestly tell I don't think he can wake up anytime
Oh
soon.
no,
What?
I'm not asking him to wake up. I want to make sure that he will stay alive.
Oh, for
Which-
sure, for sure.
Done.
Okay,
Okay.
which stations don't we have manned? Is
Right
it
now,
just
just the
captains?
just the captain's chair.
And what all did we have for that spot?
I cannot tell you because it's down.
Gotcha.
That's
It's
part
Is
of
it
the
still
down.
sparking?
It's
Okay.
not sparking, not on fire. Again, the ship has that natural let's put out the fire, but you would not be able to figure that out.
I was just curious if it was a completely just gone, or if it was if
Oh,
we.
the chair's still here, but you can't use any powers, anything. Someone
Okay.
could probably sit in it now and maybe be fine as long as you're not gonna start pressing buttons. But it's
Right, but
yeah.
the instant you start pressing buttons, you're gonna
It could
short
just
crap up.
yeah.
Okay, sweet. So did the probe thing that he asked me to do? Does that count as me doing?
That's your
My-
action. It's basically Izzy and Elle are gonna have just a half second. I'm gonna
I
tell
didn't
you.
know that was the way it worked.
Yep, you're good. I am
Okay.
about to start a group
yes.
timer in real life.
Yeah.
As we've reached the point of decisions are gonna have to start coming because eventually you can't hang out in the neutral zone too long or people will find you.
Yes.
Especially after making a galaxy wide look at us.
Can we send an extract team?
You
Or is
could.
this the file that's stuff?
And there's 70 of
Yeah,
them.
but we are simulating the brig. There is an entire ship
Oh,
of
right.
things that we can use.
You could take
Um,
the simulated crew and start a.
do an extract
Let's do
team,
an
send them with
extraction team.
communication.
You've got, of
also
course,
wanna prep some-
transporters,
Right.
but transporters can do at max 12, and you would have to get closer.
Alright, should we just dock
Let's-
up then?
Let's
Stock up and start getting as many people
pull
as we
in
can.
closer. You on the guns should
let's
have
prepare.
Stay.
a
No, I
little, a couple of things ready,
Yeah.
just in
I'm
case somebody pulls up
getting
and
to that.
then starts to fight. Yeah,
There we go.
you were probably gonna.
I was getting to that.
Yeah.
Thank you though. But yeah, for extracting team, let's just prepare it. There's 70, so we just need.
I want to send the
what,
extraction
10?
team with some power cells. They said that
Six.
they've had a total engine failure. What would we have here that could help them restart their
As
engine
you
in case of
start
emergency?
heading into them, the neutral zone, like the neutral zone proper,
Also
right? This like
gonna-
actual area of space.
Get like 10 of the bombs ready.
Okay, you're gonna start loading up about 10. So like, crew's gonna have to do that. Some are gonna start getting ready on transport ships to try to get over. Entering into the neutral zone, you're going slow and steady as this could be an act of aggression. When you enter in, 2 Klingon bird of praise decloak from Klingon space and are going to take fires on you. While that happens, I will ask everyone to roll a new initiative. As for those that understand Star Wars 5e or have seen other systems like this, you more or less want someone of your group to roll pretty high. Everyone's going to get a chance, of course, to go if we enter small initiative, but you're going to have one big initiative, and so you want someone to have something good. Nat 20, okay.
I got an 18.
18 for Given.
22.
22 for Sam.
I rolled a 13, and that's a +7, so dirty 20.
Dirty 20.
With that good 13, boy.
How late are we going?
No longer than 10.
Okay, I'm just starting to fade from my back.
You're
seats
good.
A little bit.
She's
We're beginning.
I am just.
Gotta make checks. Okay. For sure, Klingons are gonna go after you guys. But they have their, like, surprise of, like, we were here waiting to see what was gonna happen. And as you guys start hitting, they just open fire. So, I have to roll their ships. They're gonna give themselves advantage with a ship thing they do. So, that is going to be a 21 and a 20 to hit.
Is there no way I can jump into the captain's chair and just grit through the damage to give it the damage reduction?
Damage reduction, unfortunately, no. As Captain's Chair, it would require some big checks to maybe try to bring it online before that would happen.
I see.
The ship is going to take a total of 54 points of damage immediately, as these turbo lasers that they kind of have immediately focus in. Boom, 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 boom. So Izzy, go ahead and mark down that 54 points damage are done to the shield. Shields are still holding, but that's a shit ton of damage. Immediately, alarms are naturally going off across. Like, you're trying to get little pings from all the crew, like, okay, we're doing great, but we, bit of damage over here. We're doing fine, but bit of damage over here. That's your guys' turn. You all get to act together. Everyone's got about one action they can do. What's the goal right now?
I'm firing back.
Firing back immediately? Got it.
Wait,
That
could
could
I have used
initiate-
Blockade Runner?
Blockade runner in this sense?
mean,
Reaction to
you
be,
were fired
it's a
up
reaction to
first,
being
so-
hit.
Yeah.
I go.
And
It
we
says
already
half
sent out-
speed and D8.
That's
Mhm.
We also have.
Is that-
So, yeah, the D8 is the power die. So you use one of your console power dice. Go ahead and roll the power die as a reaction.
It's 3.
Hell yeah. Here we go. Blockade runner. It's a great one to have, honestly. It's why they gave it. Here we go. Let's see what you can do. You, with a 3, that's going to, 2 the times by 10, 30 points of damage are negated. So go ahead and give the shields 30 points back. As you move half speed, closer, of course, to the Kobayashi Maru, it's not like, and like 30 points of damage,
Mm-hmm.
immediately off, as they weren't ready for where you're about to move for.
So, in the little ops things down at the bottom, what does interfere or encryption do?
Oh yes, for operator interfere. An interference check would be basically trying to take out their comms for a round or two. Is I'm trying to interfere where they couldn't do any communications. What was the other one?
Encryption?
Oh, encryption's nice. Where you're trying to basically think of it like a ship stealth. Like we're trying to encrypt and send off something, and no one gets to know.
Gotcha.
Yes.
I am going to try and do an interference.
Go for it.
And what all would I use the power die for again?
So the power die for you is there's a couple things. There's actually something called hacked communications, where the ship you can do it, and like you're not only hacking, but the ships that you choose have to succeed on Wisdom save or take ionic damage equal to the number rolled plus Charisma. And on a fail, their comms device are disabled until rebooted. It's like you're upgrading. Like I could interfere and maybe last a round, or I'm interfering using a power die, and if they fail, they're hacked and just down until they will have to manually reboot somehow on their ship.
Gotcha.
If you want to do so, go for it, because you've got so roll a d8. You're using one of your power die. 8. Hell yeah. So that's already going to be doing a solid 8 points of damage then to their ships, where you realize boom, it does go through. It looks like their shields, as because it's more of an interference check, it's attacking their hull. What we would say. Go ahead now, make the interference check, as I'm going to make their wisdom saves to see if their systems go down.
What if we tractor
We'll start with the first ship
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, we tractor beam it closer to
and
us.
second. The
well,
first
tractor-
ship,
where did I lose it?
the first ship on the left will fail.
We can, but we need to get these
But
guys
the
off
second
us,
one
so
will
I was thinking we
hardcore
tractor
succeed.
beam one of them, because then they can't move around anymore.
What if we tractor beam them right in
That
front of our
is
Can we do that?
a 19.
19.
That was
You
more
still
time
are
against
interfering. You get to choose now. You
Is
know
there-
the one on the left, their systems are down.
Yeah.
So if you want, you could choose the one that succeed on the success and just interfere them.
Yeah.
Because it gives that one round of their stuff goes down.
Yeah. So it's like theirs is for sure down.
Oh, excuse me. You're rolling 19. They're now going to roll just that pure interference relay. As basically, the other ship's for sure down because of the power die.
Yeah.
The 19 is now the DC they've got to beat. So yes, their communications will probably down for at least a round. Or until they get something else.
Wonderful, wonderful.
Question.
That's good. If you use some of the reaction, yes.
This is L, not the L. Can we try and... I want to make sure it's not a war crime, right? Can we tractor beam one of the enemy ships right in the path of our ion cannon?
Not at all, just because that's not how it would technically work. Is tractor beaming is just more pulling, and
I
of course
didn't know if it was like,
you can of course pull it towards you, but it's like then they would get a save to like, well, we don't want that to happen. Engage our reverse thrusters and just try to oppose. You can't like put them in
If the
front of cannon.
civilian ship goes towards us,
Izzy,
then we can
force
see it
out.
come out.
If you want to fire, you definitely can. What weapon are you going to use in this moment?
I was trying to look at the Google Doc open, please.
Do we have bonus actions?
Let's use.
As the ship,
There might
no,
be
that's
plasma
it would
torpedo,
have to go
advanced
into, like,
proton torpedoes,
individual
Yeah,
stuff, and usually
let's
that's only
do
if you've been
an
boarded or
EMP
other.
bomb.
Right now, it's kind of a
Gotcha.
group
Oh,
like
that's
the
though.
big actions
Yeah,
we can
sure.
do because
Why
It's-
are
I
our
was checking
300
the-
crew
the-
an item?
Astronav
Don't
check
even worry
because
about
it says it's a
Well,
bonus,
something-
bonus action.
but astronav check. Fun fact, that's not gonna help
I mean,
right
if there's
now.
asteroids or
The
anything around
astronav
it.
check is more if you need to jump to warp fast, as there's always some
Gotcha.
downtime. Is this ship is equipped where if you need to do a fast warp, your ship does have the one bonus action of like, ooh, let's make a check before we go to not accidentally kill ourselves.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Let's use the advanced proton torpedo.
Hell yeah. So go ahead, roll the d20. You're using your ship's strength, which is going to be the +3. It's pretty good, actually.
It's a 5.
5. Oof. You fire a torpedo. The Klingons, they got hacked, but you quickly realize they're still ready for a fight. One of the birds prey dodges. You've got like 99 more. It's just that like these are big things. As that happens, I believe everyone on the ship has taken the turns they can.
I wanted to try and see if we could tractor beam the civilian ship closer to us so we can extract.
And I haven't actually
Gotcha.
taken my action yet. It was a reaction.
Gotcha. Oh yes. Because
So
tractor beam
shields
would
and
have to come from you.
bonus action.
Do you want to tractor beam the Kobayashi Maru?
What are you? Gun weapons.
Because if you do it, then you have a bonus action suddenly available of moving said ship.
That's true, yeah. I'm gonna... Yeah, and that's my action to grab them, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, I'm gonna just park right where we're at. Wait, I can take movement without an action.
Yeah.
I'm gonna tractor beam them, move towards them, and then pull them. I mean, if they fail, they're safe.
Fun fact: they can't make the save because they're a dead ship in the water. Normally, there's so yeah, you move in, put the tractor beam on when you're within that 600-foot range, and just start pulling back. In this moment,
Were we able to send any extraction teams out before we got in?
not yet. So like crew is waiting on that, but it's also that like we're not gonna get in just in case we get told like to suddenly gear up for a different thing, right? Does that make sense?
Be prepared to, in case that the Klingons have used.
I am
as a-
going to.
What's the old term? A Trojan
Trojan horse.
cart? Trojan horse.
Trojan horse. A horse, of course. Something will trigger when you start tractor beaming.
Tractor beam from the opposite direction.
2 Klingon warships are going to decloak and attack the Kobayashi Maru. I have to make a check. They have natural advantage because the ship's down. Oof, yeah, that's 2 hits or a hit and a crit. As it does so, these 2 are going to start hailing you. You realize that the decloaked birds are putting on hail.
Okay.
Do you want to put it on screen or just on a solo message? Because you get that option as comm. It's like you could basically take it yourself, or you could put it on screen and everyone looks at it.
I'll just put it up for everyone.
Okay.
Or is that like ship-wide everyone?
No, no. So, I should say
Bridge
3
everyone.
options. Everyone, just on the big screen, or I could basically
Bridge
I'm just gonna
everyone.
take this.
I'll
message
just screen
first.
your.
I'll do
I'm gonna
bridge
screen
everyone.
bridge everyone. Across the big ship-wide computer monitor, you see a grizzled-looking Klingon, full armor. You have stolen from Klingon space. We consider this an act of piracy and in violation of the treaty. Surrender at once or face the consequences.
We knew that the
Mate.
Kobayashi was in neutral space, right?
It looks as if they may have considered it to have drifted. Neutral space isn't exact science, let's be honest. Who is actually monitoring the like minutest of like gravity fields? Like, so basically, Klingons are saying it was far enough into our side.
Are we allowed to quickly deliberate as a group, or do we?
Very much so. I'm not going to be like, tell me now. Like, you could do a quick like.
Let them take the ship.
Why? The civilians on board.
No, yeah. Tell them, give us the bodies.
Gives the people
Take the ship.
take the ship.
Okay.
You give us the people. You take the ship.
These are now Klingon prisoners of war. They will be ours.
Then I
We have a
believe
treaty and we are not at war.
You are at war. The Federation and Klingon Empire treaty has now dissolved, and this is an act of war.
Well, then you'd much
Can
rather
I
have a
insight
ship
on
full
that?
of officers and commanders
yeah, go
than
for it.
civilians, wouldn't you?
You say that, we'll get the quick insight.
That was a 19.
19.
Plus my.
It's
5,
realizing,
so
oh
24.
yeah, about almost 200 years ago, you're getting the like, he
yeah.
definitely thinks you're at war, like, obviously
like-
today we're all cool, but like,
Yeah,
back
it's
at
like
that time it
this
was,
simulation is old.
this is an
very
old
Of course,
thing.
old.
it's dated. Did you check the star date? It's like 200 years old.
It's like walking
So
up on
we're
a
still at
Confederate
war.
general, like, oh, you damn Yankees, I see, and you're like, what the fuck?
I
Like,
roll a history check
yeah, if you want to.
on just like Klingon customs to see if there's a possibility of just a duel.
Yeah.
Of
I
like
do have dueling.
that is a 18.
And 18. It's not a custom, but damn it if they're not down for it. It's like there's no official thing of like you can always do this, but you could provoke into like let's one-on-one this.
Can I use my dueling for
If you want to. What will have to happen first is someone's gonna have to persuade him to do it. If that makes sense. It's like that's the history.
I'll
You have the highest
finish
charisma.
wait.
Highest
Listen,
charisma needs to persuade him.
Yeah.
all I'm gonna say is, would you rather have a damaged ship full of civilians, or, and I point at my commander's stripe, as the only one on the bridge,
Yeah.
who is,
Conscious. Yeah.
or the commander of this vessel willing to fight you, and if you best me, you get our ship too.
Go ahead and roll me an insight check in this moment.
help with that?
Because.
Help action.
It should have been, or you get.
Well, that's a good thing I have help.
Gorn friend.
That's a nat 13 for insight 15.
On a nat 13, you know there's two options. One, you go fight. In this moment, this fight may be lethal. As if the simulation is on the fritz, the damage could be unrestricted by a safety protocol. That's like actually dying.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't, they could fire on the ship. They might like, all right, no, like let's fight, and then if the ship blows up, what's your simulation gonna do? And do you think everyone could tank that damage?
We already have somebody.
That's
Does
what I'm
it
giving
seem
the-
likely that he'll fight me?
It seems likely, maybe if you try at this point. There's enough of challenge out there that he could naturally, like, passively accept a challenge. But that's the options, is you're seeing, I could die, or everyone could die.
Yeah, well, I mean, Gibbon's been in fights before, and he's fought real things so that we're intending to kill him and we're just machines gone wrong. So he definitely is going to lean into that option.
There we go.
And I think I will, like, look at Black Opal and be like, I know this was your idea.
It was
I'm not
my
trying
idea, and I was
I'm not
fully
trying to steal-
intending to fight the guy, but
But, like, I'm looking at your muscles compared to my muscles, compared to my scars, and I'm like, I got you.
Gonna roll
Like-
for
I mean,
initiative. Oh,
I
interesting.
mean, I can.
Given you'll be going for Klingon,
I
you see,
believe it.
I am Captain Ta'ak. Transport to our vessel where we may duel honorably. Any tricks and we open fire on the civilians.
No worries.
Scream.
Any tricks and we open fire.
Yeah, right. It's kind of that like, don't be sneaking. Like we're gonna transport everyone over. Like we'll know. So you immediately can start heading down towards transport bay. But before
I
you go,
I think we should send a strike team over to the
Kobayashi Maru.
Kobayashi Maru and have one second.
See,
one of
but
the-
do we have any
We
way
need to be able to get their
combat.
systems online.
No, send over just as many extra comm badges as we can get. Any crew members that are staying on the ship, just take their comm badges, distribute them to everybody on the ship. What is it called when you tell
beam them up?
beam them on board? The second
All
I
at
get back
once.
or go down, get the hell out of here.
Smart. But we need to be able to send a vessel that they can't pick up on their radars.
One of our escape pods. They're tiny.
Would it catch up on
As soon as it detaches.
Can I do a history
It's
check
almost-
to see if one of our escape pods would catch on one of their radars?
Passive. That's smart.
Piece of piss in a
It's-
bucket.
It's real. It's like, what are the odds? What the actual odds? It's a stealth thing. A personal person is gonna have to make a stealth check and
I
just go.
have
Because
places
if you
to go.
transport
Yeah.
and send one person
Probably
Klingon
stealth.
and someone with a bunch of comm badges to Kobayashi Maru, they'll for sure notice because they're waiting for like a transport signal.
Mhm.
But if one person teleports and is getting ready to fight, you might be able to stealth just one person, one little transport, just
With a
get
whole
Kobayashi
bag
with a
of-
whole. Mhm.
Should we send out a shipwide announcement? Give everyone their bees.
Oh my gosh.
You guys do what you gotta do. I need
Done.
to go get into the transport.
I immediately send out a shipwide announcement, and I send the message that we got up here to the ship so everybody knows what's going on. And it's,
Move your comm
would it be
badges up.
Commander Gibbon?
I think
this
it would
scenario?
very much still.
Commit?
You
I
can
mean,
call
I'm
yourself whatever
the,
you
I'm
want,
the
just,
acting command member on the bridge.
I would say acting
But-
command, because that's the formality. Acting command Gibbon has gone over to the Klingon ship to do a duel. I'm not that literate right
The
now.
sim
It's
stuff that
like
you're about to
we
get back, yeah.
need- we are sending one individual over to the Kobayashi Maru with warp pad.
Comm badges.
With comm badges. We ask that you donate your comm badges so that we can save as many civilians as we can.
Honorable.
We have 300.
We support.
people,
It's very
so
much.
we need
It's hard
somebody.
to simulate a bunch of crews. So what you're getting is like, imagine like Facebook messages of like, I smile. Like a lot of crews just going, this is honorable. We support acting Captain Gibbon now because of course the simulation doesn't like not having a captain, so it's going, sure, all right, like
And you're
yes, if this is,
captain.
and we will send our combat simulations approving this.
Okay.
Also, we need to get preparations for the warp pads to be able to send a bunch of people over here.
So, who's going to sneak
constantly.
over?
Who has? I mean, I have +6 to.
Yeah, plus 6. Plus 6.
It's not me.
Yeah, I'm like, you gotta go do this.
I mean, I'm
My
just
stealth's only a
contemplating
+2.
should I do disguise self and then just because first round of combat I have high initiative.
Oh, so disguise yourself as given.
Disguise myself as him. I have the high initiative. I could do Zephyr Strike or bonus action Hunter's Mark. When I hit, I do a second attack. I could sneak, maybe? I don't know.
It's do you go as given,
Or does Given
or
go
does
with-
given go as given?
Or you go. We pretend to beat the shit out of you as you turn into a Klingon. We send you over first. I come over afterwards to be like, we sent him just in case you're just planning to fire on me. You know, like we had a prisoner too, sort of a deal.
Oh, that would be such a good bluff.
Because
bluff.
one, if they were
It's an
smart, they
intimidation
wouldn't
tactic.
think through that. But they're Klingons, so they're gonna
I'll
be
let
like,
you
yeah,
know.
it makes sense. That's
You-
what we would do.
You
It's
only
very
have about a
optimal.
few minutes left that simulation will allow.
Okay.
I'm not telling you what
Let's
the
do it.
timer is to not stress
So-
it out, but it's like there is a countdown.
Okay, well, I'm already
What was that?
down
So
to
basically,
go.
we send you through
While they're
first
figuring
as a
that out, I'll
Klingon,
just
but
go.
like as a prisoner of war, like we've already had somebody imprisoned on
You
our
are
ship.
beat up.
And so then I come over afterwards, and the ruse would be like, you know, we sent you first, we sent our Klingon prisoner first, in case they were sitting there at their bridge just waiting to shoot me the second I appeared.
Because that could be a thing. It could be that, like, sure, come on over and fight us.
So it's like you're the meat bag in case
Okay.
they were preparing
Yeah.
to shoot. And then we're both there in case things go wrong, we can
Yeah.
back each other.
There we go. Okay. You're going to make me a deception check with
So I'm
advantage
literally
with
the
all your
last
stuff.
one on the bridge.
Who's go and you're gonna stealth, so roll your stealth check. You're getting the transport rate. That's easy enough. The simulation's gonna give you 70 comm badges. It's like great, one for everyone. It's gonna give the help action, transporting them all out. You're getting ready at the transporter to beam over to the ship right after, and you don't need to make any checks for that. You're just like, I'm getting ready.
I am taking off my shirt though, and just like you can see all 9 abs.
Oil.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
An
Just
intimidation tactic.
Val, you are now acting captain on the
Wait,
bridge.
Who has the guidance spell?
Oh, Val.
Can you
I
pass that
have
on to our?
bless. Should I have done?
I
Good.
got a
You-
25 for my stealth.
That's gonna be insanely good. That's kind of the part of the thing you want to succeed,
Can I
because
do
like if they had
bless?
found you, that all this would have been moot
Can
point.
I do bless?
Yeah,
Would
for
that-
3-part member.
Because guidance is only a one-time thing.
Add a
bless is
D4,
constant.
add D4, add D4.
And I only have to cast it at first level because Jack is down.
Jack, be down.
That's a 27 stealth instead.
27, 24. And you just got it.
I'm not stealthing. Yeah.
You sent over. As you beam in, Klingons are holding their classic big old, like, sword scepter things. See you appear and kind of like step back. They weren't like getting ready to attack, but it was that, like, in case you guys send over, like, a bomb. Like, you never know. So it's that, like, they see you and are immediately confused, you can tell, because it's like, why the hell is there a bloody Klingon? Like, we were expecting a captain. You hear what? You speak Klingon, actually. I don't know if you do.
I didn't know we
You
had.
speak Orc.
I feel like that would make a lot of sense. If you don't have your languages, that you would know Klingon.
It's
I mean,
a,
the gems
it's a,
are
I don't
also
want to say
a
a 1 in a
giant
million,
empire.
but gems, there's actually a pretty low chance of a gem casually knowing Klingon, just because Klingon Empire is opposite side of the galaxy.
It should be in
I know
the...
deep speech.
Not the same. Unfortunately. A couple Klingons immediately start talking.
Would his transporter work as a?
I'm coming through like 5-10 seconds.
What
Yeah.
with my deception?
One
I think
second.
I would have like stumbled in and then pretended to just faint.
Poof, you slam. You appear. They see you appear. And then, like a bunch of pointed spears, just like. You see Captain to Arc step forward. I was like, what is the meaning of this, Federation scum?
Starfleet is not unkind. You returning our prisoners of war, we're returning yours.
Make an intimidation check with advantage. At this moment, Sal, you are flying in. It's that very tense, like,
Got my bag
please don't
of
fire, please don't
bombs.
fire, please don't fire, please don't fire, please. You make it all the way to Kobayashi Maru. Not a single shot is fired. Probably means they don't know you're there. In a good way.
It means that have you made it to
17.
the Kobayashi?
17.
Made it.
It's not perfect, but you do see just like, very well. Take him to the medical bay. As two are going to grab you and just start dragging your body away. Now, we fight. He kind of like takes your approach. You realize he takes off his armor.
Here on the telepad? No. One of yours will teleport me back into space. We fight on your bridge.
Acceptable. As a 17 will allow that.
I'm like,
he
I'm
will-
not gonna let that happen.
Middle of the fight. Boop. Yeah, like and just yeet you somewhere. They take you to the bridge. Here's what's gonna happen. You're gonna have one round of combat before Sal's perfect line, because you've got to start. You're not gonna like tell them to start transporting just in case you don't have the combat to everyone. So there's gonna
We
be
had 300 people. on
300
the
people.
ship.
You've got 70 combat. So it's like, let's quickly make sure everyone's got one before we transport, just in case someone actually just grabs combat. You're not the person.
Yeah.
Because then, if everyone's holding. So, you're passing out, you're being dragged away. We're going to enter a bit of a one-on-one, and you're going to be, or excuse me, Val, you're going to be making the transport checks. You're the only one left to help really do that. You do get advantage. What's going to happen is you're going to be
And I
making,
got blessed on myself, I believe.
this is a probe check, so you'll get to add, it's +6 plus a d4 with advantage. Every round, but we'll get to that.
John.
Well, but they know only
of
the
course.
Kobayashi Maru.
I would have moved it like to my pants or something. But
Yeah.
yeah, they would.
They also
Taking
know,
advantage.
like, don't go for the captain. Like, yeah. So, we'll hold that a second. Lincoln,
If you just like took off your
Um,
coat.
here again, you get to start this encounter as Ta'ark just kind of grabs his sword, just levels you, just die with honor. Go.
Live in blood. And I just slice my hand open with
Fucking
an axe.
no. Fucking no.
Yeah, just I don't know. I have a bleeding hand now, and I go into a rage. And you see, unlike when I'm piloting and I rage, my hair literally like almost stands up like a feline, like a cat's. And it almost looks like my muscles actually grow a little bit, like the veins are just bulging. Yeah, I just like bulk up. And I'm first to act.
Yep.
Okay, cool. I'm gonna immediately take a reckless attack on him. Give myself advantage.
+4.
19. Oh, I have plus. I mean, I already hit. I had a 19 on the die, but that's +4 and then +5 for my hand axe, so that's 28 to hit.
28 hits.
okay.
God, slam into his chest.
Slam into him. Let me roll that damage. So that's 9 plus an additional 1d6 plus 1. 9 damage plus 3 radiant damage or energy damage as it just like this psionic energy slams
That
into
will
him.
have to 6.
But
As
his radiant will hit completely.
yes, it will. Excuse me. So I did my math wrong. So 4 plus 3, so 7. Sorry, my bad. You boom as you fight better than most scum. As he is going
Never
to
fought
get ready to
scum
hit. Val, you're technically making the check before General Ta'ark can. So go ahead, make your probe.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you already made it. 26. Immediately passing the DC. Full 12 crew member or crew of the Kobayashi Maru teleport in. That's 12 down from 70. Looking great. You have 58
Excellent.
left. Here we go. General Ta'ark's taking his turn. He is going to take his first attack, of course, with advantage.
Oh, I am so sorry. It did an additional 2 damage.
Oh, yeah.
But it was half to 1 because it's melee
Half to
damage.
1.
But
That is going to be a 21 to hit.
that does hit.
And his second attack. He may have missed.
18.
That was only a synthetic 16. But he is dealing full damage on the first. Wild stuff that might help save your life. 3 damage, half to 1. I didn't add in his 6 damage, half to 3. My bad.
And that's, you're already having 4 my rage.
Just kinetic having rage. Yes, I'm telling you that you only took 3 points of damage.
Okay.
As I rolled a 1 and a 2 on the damage die. Rough. Sal, you're, again, helping coordinate. That's all the easy part. Gibbon, that's you.
Should I roll for how many people get to?
So is Black Opal just stuck in the
Val
basement?
has to make the roll technically just because she's there. But you're going to say her because in theory they might send people.
Is Black Opal not going to be able to
I'm going to say, as of right now, there's a low chance of you getting back, just because I could possibly auto-kill you if you try anything right now. So, you're probably waiting for the, like, once they're ready, they know to go for my combat and just get me out. But there's enough Cleons, like, a one-on-one is possibly doable. Against a crew is possibly going to kill you. Just in that, like, it's a kind of a wait game of, can we outlast a match for the other team to get everyone out?
Okay, I see.
So, Gibbon, that's back to you. So
yeah.
we'll go Gibbon, Val.
I'm gonna take an attack again. I won't do reckless this time.
Gotcha.
But that's Can I do reckless posthumously?
Sure.
After the roll.
Yeah, just add in real quick.
So that's 14 plus 5. That's 19 to hit this time.
19 will hit.
Okay, I swing
Plus
at him
6?
again.
Plus my bless.
D4.
That's gonna be a synth 20. Does that
Synth
make
20.
it?
We'll make it. You'll get the full 12.
An additional 11 just straight up piercing damage.
Okay.
And then an additional 4 radiant.
4 radiant. The radiant's what's really helping, right? You're noticing, like, he's having a lot of just that normal kinetic stuff, but as the radiant comes in, just that burning might, boom, boom, he's starting to look a little hurt. 20 succeeds. I'll let you know, even if you fail the check, you're just not getting the full 12. It's like it'll start lowering of, like, how much can your transport do?
But I need to optimize
But another
the time
12,
you've been given by giving.
46 people are left.
Excellent.
General Tark is going to make his 2 attacks. These are an advantage.
46.
Yikes. Does a 21 and a 22 hit.
Yep.
Yeah, that was rough. Can roll damage for his sword on these 2 attacks. Let that
I assume
control.
he's just doing kinetic damage. There's not
Just kinetic.
Okay.
You will have this, but that is going to be 30 half to 15. As stabs in hard, kind of like what you were doing. As you go in for the chest, he pushes off and then does that swipe at the leg. You feel, ooh, that cut deeper than expected as, soon glory will be to the Klingon Empire. Go, go. Back to the top, Gibbon, that's you again. The owls start making your check.
It sure is.
He's looking hurt, but now you've just received
Nat
that, like,
20!
excellent. I'm being super nice with nat 20s because, no spoilers, this happened. You'll go twice. So 24 down. So you just went from 46 down to 22. Meaning 2 more left.
Just 2 more.
Just 2 more.
Okay.
Is that including myself?
Well, yeah, because one group getting 12, and then another group has 10, plus you making 11. But then, of course, getting them, because, yeah. So, in theory, maybe 3 rounds.
Okay.
Cool.
2 definite, 1 to pull them out.
Exactly.
Yeah, for this
And you
action,
want 2 successes as well, because if it, yeah.
I'm just gonna look at him and be like, that hurt, and activate my jetpack, which I fully put back on, so it's naked chest except for this pack, and just gas up to the ceiling, so I'm just out of his range.
So he'll have to make an opportunity, but getting out. So here comes the attack. Yikes! Does a 25 hit? Yeah, that was rough.
Where are you at? That point was.
That was insane damage. 21 half to 10.
My unconscious body slaps into the window of the bridge, just like the jet's still going. I'm just like
Can I see
repeatedly
this?
smacking into this.
No, unfortunately, because you're sitting there. We gotta get them out. You're
No.
waiting
Can I
for.
look up and just see?
No, it's too far away. It's like hundreds of feet. So it'd be that like I'm sure it's going fine.
DM, do I see his vitals?
No, actually, because again, being that everyone is too spread out, I will say, unless you are giving up transporting people over to check the vitals, would you go for the people or the vitals?
I'm going for the people.
Go ahead and
I'm
make
going
me your
as
check.
As fast as I
It's
can.
6. So that has taken you down to 0.
Yeah.
I
As that
have-
was one of the times he did a pretty insane damage hit. What? How
Plus
many?
6 plus 4.
Yes.
Well,
I only
that's
have 26
20.
hit points. For Barbarian,
Fun
how
fact,
slow is
I
it?
got
29.
confused. I was dealing damage to Sal's stat block, and I'm like, I thought you stopped. Oh, you're at fine. You're at full hit points.
29.
29 deals the full 12. There's 10 left. As you're falling unconscious,
I need you to get into this next transport.
you watch as General Tark, before you fade out, just excellent. Fire on the Federation ship! He comes in. Hits for sure on a 21.
Well, if it's a downed creature, I get two
Two-
automatic failures.
2 fails. Gibbon, go ahead and make a death save.
At the top of my turn.
Top of
With
your
2
turn.
failed saves already.
As that's what he did. Because you're going to make the save. You're going to do the last because it should get the crew and that. So,
Just here in my box.
just here in your box. This is in Box of Doom.
That's a 19.
Because I can get him
One
too.
success.
Because it would be
Well, no.
11 with them.
That's too far. Is
But
the
it's-
Kobayashi Maru is nowhere close to the Bird of Prey.
Okay.
You would have had to have maneuvered the ship beforehand to try that, and the
And
Klingons
that-
might have
and
gone,
that
"What are you
would've-
doing?" Like, yeah.
Yeah.
So what'd you get?
Well, 18 plus 6 plus 4.
Yeah, you're good.
That's
10.
28.
You feel that last, like, as these last 10, these people look scared. Even for a simulation, they're freaking out. You feel them start, watch yourself. All of you are in the transport bay. I would say so. You're probably naturally like, to the bridge. Like, okay,
Yeah.
good job. You're all safe. And just like booking it.
My job here.
As
is
General Ta'ark
Was it
finishes
along
his
the
turn,
ceiling?
Oh yeah, how much damage was
Gibbon,
the ship
come
was
in.
given it?
uh,
Gibbon.
it did 54 minus 30, so only 24 to the shields. I'm actually going to roll real quick for the shields because we haven't had to. Here we go.
Because the shields are still
4.
55.
This is not
The shields have gained back 9 hit points.
Okay. So
But
55 plus 9.
The
but
4
minus-
Klingon ships and Ta'ark are going to take their attack before we get back to the normal stuff.
Oh, we'll
'Cause
come
it-
in.
You hear that?
Answer.
Yeah, right? Like,
I mean, I
you're in the med bay where, like, the Klingon version of medicine, what the simulation can provide is, like, you're fine, and kind of, like, slap you a little, like, you get up. But it's still that you're in the med bay surrounded by Klingon. So it's that, like,
Would I be able to like?
give me a stealth check. Give me a stealth check. I'm going to make Gibbon. Die with honor. You have none. As it plunges in, I'm Val. You remember what I said earlier about saving
Yes.
your energy? You've got a choice. Save the captain, or you have everyone and go. You got
Can our ship handle the affront? If we
with
get it.
4 Klingon birds of prey and you don't know who they have wait. Like, you guys have no backup. They might. A 1v4 battle seems impossible.
What would protocol say?
Protocol would tell me to get out of here.
Protocol would say the acting captain did his duty and saved civilian lives.
I will get out of here, and then as soon as we're back to safe area, I will, in simulation, basically, like, dishonorably discharge myself for not saving my...
And the second that happens, before the blade hits, you hear, simulation ended. All of you stop and are standing in the blank void.
He's actually
I'm gonna-
hurt, isn't he?
Gibbon, you're totally fine.
Oh, I stopped holding my breath now.
I'm hanging out.
So, very much that full. Gibbon, you were at full health all along. It was just the simulation making you think everything. You all look passive. Jack Sauer's completely gone. As immediately stepping out, you see Fleet Admiral Noble step in. Thank you, cadets. We will grade your examination. Please report back to the hall for further exit interviews and assignment. Kind of doesn't. You see, there's not like a good look in his eye. He doesn't look like happy with what happened because technically the captain died. Technically, you're still on the Klingon ship. Technically, so much didn't go well. You also, Val, I'll give you in this moment a passive history. You're technically not supposed to allow. We're all captain now. You were supposed to figure that out. Like, but it's that like a lot of little things happened, and so it leaves that question of what has happened.
I will point out that I did step into the commanding role.
You did step in, and
then
that's
I
where we're going to
became
end
the
tonight's
acting
session.
captain.
Thank you all so much for playing. Thank you all for watching. I will see you all next time. Bye-bye.